Ladies and gentlemen, I was so excited about our guest coming on here tonight that I'm actually early. Usually you're like, where is he already? When is he going to come on? Maybe he won't show up. No, not so fast, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so excited about our guest that I'm actually 3 minutes plus early because, boy, do we have a lot to talk about tonight in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that our guest and many companies that he's wrestled in have certainly helped build Sportswire Radio. We have a lot to talk about, especially in the world of BTW. We have a rematch coming up here, but now this time for a different championship. I'm going to ask our guest about that. I'm going to talk about what is going on in DBW. I just saw our guest on Wednesdays, our old friend Mr. Judgment's Confessionals, and boy, he said some things that I was almost rather surprised he said. We'll get into that. We'll most certainly talk about a lot about what's going on in YBW, and maybe even we'll discuss ROEW and who knows whatever else. And since our guest is here and he is back for the first time in about 2 months, I am going to give him that introduction because I know that our chat is starting to arrive, and I even see one man that is here that our guest is going to wrestle, but not quite yet. He'll wrestle him toward the end of the summer, and they'll be wrestling for a medal. I'll definitely get into that, plus a number of different topics. But since, in the words of Def Leppard frontman Joe Elliott, let's get rocked, baby, because you're waiting for it. He's waiting for it. And I've even got something else for our guest. And I've got a little surprise for him toward the end of the show. And no, it's not what you think. But I am going to start this show here because, after all, this is the platform, the only one where all music and wrestling matters. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's start this show off. And I'm excited for our guest to hear the new introduction because we've added something else to it since he's last been here. So, with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one, Sports Show, a man that is in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame for now not one, not two, but three promotions, and also a Hall of Famer in his own right. A man that has now wrestled for nearly 24 companies and is not just the headline, he's a trailblazer. His name is, simply put, the headline. Aaron My friend, how are we doing?
I'm doing great. Music to my ears, Tom. It is always great hearing the lengthy introduction,
Yeah,
the
I'm
one that
trying to get
everyone
them
gets
to
used
like literally now around 5 minutes. And it
to.
was like
It's
funny. I
great.
was at like 114 with you and I'm ready to start. Like, no, we got to go. And I just off the top of my head ad libbed a little bit. Then I'm like, okay, once I get into it, we're going to get there. And we just about got there in 5 minutes. I think Torrance Banks was here a couple weeks ago. We had like a 6 minute one. I don't know if I can do six
Oh,
every
wow.
time, but yeah, we're like 6:38. He's
I
like, no, just keep
appreciate it
going. He was
nonetheless.
like, he's great because he's here like every first Saturday of the month. And he was like, just keep going. He was like, just keep going. But no,
I was
I
just
don't know
waiting for
about
you,
that.
brother. I was just
I'll blow
waiting for
up like
you.
a helium balloon, but you've been traveling pretty much almost on a helium balloon here to all these different places. You've certainly been out west. You've been back home, and you've been in the mid Atlantic in between, and who knows whatever else. But let's talk about it and go nice and easy here, because for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that you, the headline, Aaron Blaze, have certainly trailblazed to help Sportswire Radio to the tune of nearly 1,500 subscribers. How does it feel now to be DBW's newest signee?
Man, we're getting right into it. A dream come true. Dream come true, you know. I watch, let me rephrase that. I try to watch what everybody does, and I've been watching these guys, especially since I was in middle school,
Yeah.
and I really got hooked on it with 2019, and then I had to go back and look at a couple things. Just a lot to keep up with, and I now have to go back and do even more homework. Jesus help me. But just going there, it wasn't just about another company, it wasn't about
hmm
another state. People have their assumptions. Aaron Blaze can't make it in the big leagues. He's never been part of an actual show. He can't do this. He can't do that. He won't show up. He won't do this. Well, here I am. I mean, here I am. And it's as plain as day as you can imagine. I'm here in DBW, and it's not Photoshop. It's not. We're not living in a dream. This is reality, which we'll get into that terminology in a bit.
yeah, yeah, sure.
But I'm just happy. I'm just really happy. I haven't had a real chance. At least I don't feel like I have, and DBW is the perfect place to do it, where real wrestlers wrestle. Where not that I'm trying to butcher AEW's slogan there, but with real experience, with real teachers, and being
yeah,
part of a real team. Like I haven't even been there for less than a minute, and I'm
yeah.
already welcomed into their family. And beyond words, I can't begin to express how much I appreciate it and look forward to my future there.
Yeah, definitely. I've always enjoyed the DBW product, and I've had so many of the DBW guys here on Sportswire. And last week, your opponent coming up next at Fallout, Chase Wakefield,
Yeah.
certainly had a lot to say about you. The new general manager, which you kind of butted heads with on Mr. Judgment Show this past Wednesday. Silas Walker was here. Colton Lee is here Sunday night, same time, same bat channel. And it's great to see you in a company like DBW, which has got such a heritage, and it's finally you're in a company that has the size of a roster like this, that has veterans that have conducted themselves with a level of professionalism. Guys have done indie work, guys have done different things here in the underground. So there's no question that this is definitely, I think, I'm sure, going to be the best experience. But also, most importantly, you're not traveling as far. You've been to other places where, you
Yeah.
certainly, we're going to talk about out west. We're going to definitely talk about our friends at BTW in a little while. We went all the way out west, and then you've kind of went south, and you've kind of went southeast in different places. But at least now you don't have to travel as far.
Oh yeah. No. The trip's a steal. Like it really isn't that much at all. I take a train, get picked up, then we stay at the venue. Like it's real. It's really just a good
One
time.
place you went to, you were on a bus, and it seemed like a bus to nowhere, famously.
Yeah,
And
12, 13 hours, but
yeah, I mean, you
thank
were
God
there,
times
and
have changed.
and it's definitely, I'm sure, a lot easier on the body, which is a great thing. And you
Right.
also get to see guys that actually live around you in your area. I heard you talk about Brandon. You've been a friend of Brandon's for a while. Chase
Mhm.
lives in also in the same region. Obviously, we're gonna get into the other Blaze. A lot of these guys, Silas as well, that they're guys that live near you. So it's almost like now I have things in common with them. Whereas, again, other places you've went to, there's an adjustment. The people, they maybe think one way and they see what they see, but now you're actually with people that are your peers that are almost in the same geographic destination. That's got to be pretty cool.
It really is, and I feel like this was destined to happen.
Yeah.
I never
Why?
knew to what degree, but it's only a matter of time until you interact with people of that magnitude for so long that the connections finally
Yeah.
form. It finally
Sure.
becomes a legitimate thing. And it's really, Tom, it's really up to me on how much I want that to be a consistent thing in my life, and I want it to be a consistent thing. I said it on social media.
Yeah.
I'll say it here now publicly. I am here to stay, whether people are excited or they hate it or whatever
I
they
listen.
think.
Me personally, I think it's great because I have
I do
had
too.
DBW on the platform for almost 2 years. I've pretty much had almost everybody in DBW here on Sportswire over the years. So, I mean, I think it's personally great. I think that DBW's got a heritage with almost 1 million viewers. It's got almost over 4,000 plus subscribers, almost 4,100 subscribers now. It's a company that's got a legacy. It's got quite a heritage, and you can hear it. Silas was here. He spoke a lot about what it meant. Guys have talked to me about it. So I think that really, I mean, this is just a no-brainer. I mean, almost part of me thinks this should have happened earlier. This should have
Oh yeah,
happened earlier. I mean,
it's long overdue.
if we would have had, I'll tell you what, you and I can probably both agree on this. If we could have some do-overs on some different places that have either been here or you've went to, I am sure we would definitely be in full agreement on that. But this is definitely a company that I wish you were here earlier for. But it's great to see you here, and I'm excited about what's to come here in DBW.
Well, there's no time like the present, and that's the best way to make up for lost time. So I'm
Yeah, yeah.
ready to ride the road.
So let me ask you this question. We're going to talk about your first match. We're going to talk about the man that's here in the chat, Chase Wakefield. I have some DBW contingency here. We're going to definitely talk a lot about that first. But as I introduced you coming on Instagram a few minutes ago before we went in the air, we talked about last time you were here, goals in BTW. Now
Yeah.
that I have you here representing DBW, what are your goals now here in DBW?
I already know I'm gonna get heat for saying this, but it is to become. Hey, I
I
shoot
don't think
straight.
you
That's
can
the
get
only
as
way.
much heat as James Taylor did 2 days ago, where people were, he said something about trampoline versus pro wrestlers, and it definitely was reflected on yesterday's show and through the grapevine. So I don't
Well,
think you're
James
going to
does
do
that
as
to
good.
himself, but that's a whole
Well,
different
well,
conversation.
that's a different show for a different time. So I don't
Yeah,
think you're going to
absolutely.
have to worry tonight. That's for sure.
Yeah, but goals in DBW, and
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest, to
sure.
become a champion, because just showing up and participating for me,
Right.
that's not enough. Because I
I agree.
participated this place, that place, that place.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna use this guy as an example. It's gonna be pretty ironic with the name we just uttered. Stone Cold said it best himself. If you do not want to be the champion, if you don't want to be the guy, pardon my French, Tom, but you shouldn't fucking be here. If you don't want to go out there and bust your ass and be at the tippity top of the mountaintop, you are in the wrong goddamn business. And I didn't come here to play second fiddle to anybody. I didn't come
Mm,
here to take a back seat. I've already taken a bunch of back seats to people that were critical or explosive or whatever the case may be. I've already been the big fish in all these small ponds and still
right.
got fed breadcrumbs compared to what these guys were feasting on. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. And it doesn't really matter what division, because apparently I'm the guy that only shows up for a world title, but I lost a blackout. Anyhow, being at the top and mountain, being on top of one of those divisions, any division, you can look at the tag titles, the Hub
Yep.
City, the World Extreme, Global, Anarchy, and maybe someday the World. I'm not gonna go up there yet, but
Yeah.
anything's
Well, there's
possible
one
as
you
long as you
left
work
out
for it.
that you're going to be wrestling a penitentiary qualifier match for, which is the
Yeah,
World Extreme Championship. That's the
let's get to that.
championship that you have a shot. Yeah, I think that that's why anybody's here in this sport. You're here to compete. You're here to win. And in
Absolutely.
DBW, it's a very deep roster. I said it when Silas was here, and I've said it for almost 2 years. DBW has a roster bigger than like maybe MLW. It maybe has a bigger roster than Impact Wrestling at this point. You're talking about a company
I
that
agree.
they don't have to use every wrestler that they have on their roster. It's a very big roster, and it's going to be very difficult to win any of those championships. But the championship that you have a chance to win next is the World Extreme Championship. And
Yeah.
you have that opportunity if you pass and defeat the man that was here in your chair last Friday, the Bitcoin billionaire, Chase
Chase
Wakefield. Yep.
Wakefield.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about that match, your next match in DBW.
Yeah, let's talk because Silas and maybe other people in the back think that I'm biting off more than I can chew. Not with Chase, maybe not with Chase Wakefield, but with the World Extreme Division. And the thing about me, Tom, is I've been put
But
through worse. I've been put through worse. If we're talking hardcore wrestling based stipulations and stuff like that, I've taken tubes, I've taken tacks, I've taken Legos, I've been skewered. Like, it wouldn't be too far out of my comfort zone. But the thing is, sometimes you have to force yourself to be uncomfortable to be in a more
right.
comfortable spot, which
Sure.
is crazy to think that way. But I see it as a test and I see it as a golden ticket, especially for the show of shows. We are on the road to TDX, Total Domination 10. And I get
Yeah.
the chance to not only just be a part of that event, but I get a chance to be featured in a match that defines DBW's very existence, the penitentiary.
Yes, absolutely. It was a match we spoke a lot about last year on the show, and we've already got a couple of participants here in the chat that are going to be there that you're going to be locked in with should you defeat Chase. But it's interesting, and I want to talk about Chase Wakefield for a little while because obviously Chase is one of those guys that's always here on Sportswire. He's one of those guys that you see all the time on the platform, and he's obviously been a huge part of DBW, but he's got a lot to prove, like you. He and I were talking about this, and Silas kind of piggybacked off this a little bit last Saturday when he was here. And you both have a lot to prove in different reasons. You talked about it yourself. You're in a company that has a heritage, that has a lot of veterans. They don't know what to expect from you. Yes, you've been successful in a lot of other places, BTW, ROEW, certainly your own company, but DBW is different. You've
Hmm.
got something to prove here. Then you've got Chase Wakefield, who has struggled throughout the last year or so. He struggled to find himself. He stepped away from the ring for a bit, cut his hair, trying to get back on track. He obviously had a controversial outcome in his match with Silas Walker. So he needs a win just as much as you. So really, both you guys have a lot to prove for different reasons here coming up.
That may be true, but I strongly believe I deserve it more. For the
Why?
simple fact, no offense to Chase, I like Chase Wakefield. But if we're
Yeah.
talking about consistently busting your ass, regardless of what company it's in, I have never willingly taken a hiatus in 7 years, Tom. I have never been injured in these 7 years. You look at Chase Wakefield's resume, you see former number one contenders champion, regardless of what you call him. You see a former DBW World Heavyweight champion that cashed in to beat Mr. Judgment on the show of shows, was a part of the Dawn's March, was once unkillable, the inaugural Hub City champion.
I was going to mention that next. Yep.
Look at that resume in DBW as opposed to a guy that's been here, there, and everywhere and lost to Aaron Jones. And that's all people are going to remember. First impressions are so important. No matter how much fight I gave, no matter how much I had people on the edge of their seat, I still got put down by Aaron Jones. That's all anybody is going to
But
remember.
he's
I
Aaron
want to
Jones. But
give,
to be fair, he is
yeah,
Aaron Jones. This is a man that's
he is
wrestled
Aaron
barbarian.
Jones.
I would give you a little bit of some slack there. I mean, Aaron Jones has been in there with WWE wrestlers. I mean, to be fair,
No, you're right. You're right. But at the end of the day, in regards to that, I need to give these people in the back or watching it all cast in that ring,
right?
the same ring that was used for UWF, the
Yes.
same ring that has shared so many good moments with a lot of great people that I grew up idolizing and worshiping the ground that they walked on. I need to make a different, pardon the pun here, headline in that ring beating Chase Wakefield.
No, there's
I
no
need to
question
go to
about that. Yeah.
TDX. I need to go to TDX. I need to make sure that everyone remembers what I did at that event. And I need to take the World Extreme Championship. I have been world champion before. I haven't been extreme champion since 2019. I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. And I respect Chase. I look forward to wrestling at his event. But when you stand in my way, I'm not a nice guy. When you stand in my way, I am not going to be the humble headline. I'm going to be the hunting headline. I'm going to be the hunter and I'm hunting for gold. And I'm going to make sure that any billionaire, any ace, anyone that wants to cast their judgment and sin and filth, they will see me in that penitentiary match at Fallout.
All right, let's talk. I want to go back to Chase in a minute, but you said something interesting. I don't want to talk about the actual match. Should you qualify for it? So let's say you defeat Chase Wakefield. Now you've already know you've got three men that are going to be in this match. First of all, you just mentioned one of them, Mr. Judgment, the man that dominated the underground wrestling scene for the better part of nearly 2 years. A man in his own right
Yes,
that
indeed.
trained, yeah, he's trained by a man, John Rambo. For those that don't know, is a legend, a man that is in his own right been in there with WWE wrestlers. Then you've got Colton Lee, who's got a lot to prove in his own right. Colton Lee's here Sunday night. He's going to talk about that. And then you've got the incumbent. You've got the incumbent Sammy Nothing, who, by the way, here is coming back to Sportswire
Good.
Radio for the first time. He's
Good.
coming here to talk about that very soon. Stay tuned for more details. So, sure, let's say you defeat Chase Wakefield, you make all these points. I agree with you, but the work might even be harder because of look at who I just announced, and there's still a few more names we're going to see. I mean, what is your thoughts on some of those names to start?
Well, Tom, if it wasn't easy, I wouldn't bother doing it.
I agree.
And a lot
Okay.
of people think that I take the easy way out, and that's another reason I showed up here to prove a lot of people wrong. And
Mm,
I respect Mr. Judgment. I'm not gonna get into Colton Lee and his business because that's his business.
right.
Whatever
Well,
he
he'll talk
does is
about it
good for him.
Sunday night. He'll talk about it
But
Sunday.
Sammy, God, Sammy's a guy that can literally do anything.
Yep. Yep.
He's just gifted in any single realm you put him
Guy's
in.
even a musician. He's a musician. He's
Yeah.
been, very tag team division. We saw what the Heretics did a
Hmm.
few years ago, and he's held that championship, which, by the way, has quite a history. The World Extreme title. I mean, look at what Roland Havoc did with that title. Look at what a number of different people have done with that championship, and he's doing a bang up job with it, figuratively and
Yes.
literally. I mean, and he's the guy that he don't want to lose it. So, I mean, how about that?
Well, yeah, he doesn't want to lose it, but I kind of need him to lose it if that's the route that I'm going.
Well,
And I'm
you
going
would
to do
like to
everything in
win
my
it.
power
Yeah,
to make sure I can do it.
you would. Well, let me ask you then this question, as I always ask in these instances. What would it mean to you in your career? Let's say you get in there in the penitentiary match and you become the world extreme champion. What would that mean to you?
It is not only validation, but outside of my own company and the lengths I went through for BTW, it would be the biggest, and I can't stress this enough, Tom. The biggest thing I've ever done in my career so far. And you can tether that to the subs, you can tether that to the numbers, but it's really the experience and a legacy that people can actually look back on and be proud of and look forward to seeing over and over and over and over again. And I get to be a part of that by winning that piece of history because it's not just a championship belt. None of the belts that they possess are just championship belts to me.
I agree with you on
It's
that. Yeah.
history.
Yeah, I agree with you that DBW has a heritage. There's no question that DBW, the guys that hold these championships, they're champions for a reason.
Mhm.
I totally agree with you. So really then you answered my next question. So your match with Chase Wakefield coming up and the penitentiary match itself, should you defeat Chase Wakefield, those are by far then the two biggest matches of your career is what you're telling me here right now.
At this very moment, yeah.
And that includes
Who's to
Delta.
say
That
that wouldn't
includes
change?
Blackout.
Who's
Yep.
to say that wouldn't change? I don't want to say it's the biggest moment and then something else happens, but yeah, that's the whole personification of why I do what I do and
Right,
all the
right.
places I go. I always end up topping myself, and I'm gonna outdo myself again when I beat Wakefield at Fallout and I go on to win the Extreme title.
Well, we're going to certainly
Watching.
find out. And before we do anything else, I'd like to give a big shout out to DBW because they have a YouTube channel. And I see
Yes,
some
they do.
people here in the chat. Definitely, we're going to get to everybody here in about 10 or so minutes. Please hit the sub button for our friends in DBW. DBW hit over 4,000 subscribers last week. We gave them an award for that. We put them in our Hall of Fame, which means Aaron Blades is actually in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame for 3 different companies: BTW, ROEW, and DBW. Pretty cool feat there. But obviously, hit the sub button for them, and we're very excited about DBW's return to the season and also more coverage here on Sportswire Radio with them. We are here with the headline Aaron Blaze. Okay, so obviously you've got your work cut out for you. You've
Yeah.
got obviously Chase Wakefield. And let's talk about him again for a few minutes because, you and him definitely have, I think, kind of in a way contrasting but yet similar styles. Chase and I
Hmm.
spoke about this last week. We spoke about basically what you guys do in the ring. It's kind of different but yet similar. You might bring some things to the table that he doesn't and vice versa. So
Hmm.
to prepare for somebody like Chase Wakefield, I know now you've met him. I know you've been in a locker room with him in DBW, but how are you preparing for Chase Wakefield here coming up?
How? Well, I don't have to do much, Tom, for the simple fact that he's already done the preparation for me for however long he's been wrestling.
Okay,
Because
but you've
I
been
know,
wrestling as long. You've been wrestling a while. It's
I
not,
mean, he
but you're in a
probably has
locker
been
room with
wrestling a
him
bit
for the
longer.
first time.
Yeah.
It got to be different than preparing for, let's say, BES or preparing for Blackout. This has got to be a different preparation, I would think. No?
It is a little bit different because it's very rare that someone shares a similar wrestling style with me,
Yeah, yeah, I agree
which
with
is
that.
crazy to think for the amount of people I've worked with. But I know what to expect in that paradigm, and I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses. And if ours are very, very similar, I know how to counter it. I know how to avoid it and just use it all to my advantage and get the W at the end of the day. And that's what I'm going to do at Fallout.
We're gonna find out, and I did want to talk about also here because I have it here on the screen. I thought, why not get your opinions here on Aaron Jones, and he is here, and yep, we got a lot. I'm sure you want to say on that, and I figured I'd put the match up. So, I mean, why answer his challenge? Why not in a different way come into DBW? Walk me through what's going through your mind in answering the one and only Aaron Jones's challenge.
Well, it goes along the lines of the same way I debuted in BTW. I'm not going to make as much. Imagine this. Imagine this. If I didn't call out Swift for my first match, imagine what kind of reaction that I would get for wrestling freaking Mikey D in my debut. It doesn't have the same effect. That's not me. That's not even me shitting on the guy. It's just no one's really
Aaron
going to
Jones.
look at that and take
Well,
me
all right.
seriously.
I'll phrase it in a different way. Aaron Jones has been around a long time in the backyard, underground, and independent wrestling circuit. You've obviously watched Best in the Yard. You've obviously watched Aaron Jones in different places. So this is somebody that you've watched. This is somebody that you would definitely want to meet face to face because of just his own legacy.
It was, and it was an honor sharing the ring with him. And I kind of have a different ideology about him after he hate saying this but beat me. But I wanted a spot on the card.
Hmm.
He hosted an open challenge and I accepted it, and I knew what I was getting myself into. I knew that I was getting in the ring with someone that was a bit older. I don't want to say old because I feel like that's disrespectful, but obviously older, more experienced,
Right.
and I could kind of just tell throughout the match he was a bit more hungrier than I was, and it really go went to show that he was starving for the simple fact how he went off on Brandon Castelli, who's a friend
A
of
man who's
mine.
your friend. You've known Brandon Castelli a
Yeah,
long time.
yeah. I think out of anyone in DBW, I've talked to Brandon the most, and just the way that Jones went at him after beating me, I can't. I can somewhat wrap my head around it. I can kind of understand, but I am coming into DBW not being that kind of guy anymore who would just say whatever and do whatever to get to the top. Tom, I'm going to do this the right way because people think I can't. And I kind of want to prove myself wrong in that sense too, and also show that for the other places I went to where I was willing to take those steps to get to the top of the staircase, but things happen, life happens, and things just don't work out. But I'm going to make this work out.
Well, obviously, you're going to do that. We'll get to the chat. I do want to say hello because he gave a super chat to us, which I am actually one of the people that doesn't ask for them, but he'll be here in your chair, same time, same bat channel. Yoshi Matsuda, who's watching with intent. Thank you very much, Mr. Matsuda. We'll see you tomorrow night. We'll get to everybody here one by one in the chat. We appreciate that very much, and thank you. But give it to your wrestling companies, but that's okay. But Aaron Jones, what kind of opponent is he? What kind of competitor is he then, now that you stepped in the ring with him?
Well, it's kind of crazy because, and I find this kind of funny and just coincidental. Him and Dominic, in the sense, have the same moveset. So I kind of should have seen that one coming from a mile away when he went off the ropes and got me in half. So that was not a great callback, I guess.
Well, you hopefully I can hear you a little bit better because I'm hearing some static here. It's
I hear static on my side coming from you, and it's like really
okay.
bad.
While you figure that out, we're watching Aaron Jones versus Aaron Blaze, and guess what? The winner is Aaron. So the winner is Aaron, no matter what. Aaron wins, and we'll see if Aaron can fix this here. But let me see now, Aaron. Okay, you'll hop out. You'll come back in. Okay, Aaron Blaze will come back in, and we'll give him a chance in a minute. But we're watching this match, and obviously we'll have some more coverage here. Let me tell you who's going to be here the next few days. Yoshi Matsuda and Wrestling Zero is here tomorrow. They're back. We're going to talk about what's up with them. We're going to have here coming up on Sunday night Colton Lee, 9:00, same time, same bat channel. Monday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Timothy Titan of LAW, Legit Alternative Wrestling, is going to be here. Tuesday night to be determined. Wednesday, we have our friends from BCW, Maxwell Reeves and Tsunami. That's going to certainly be quite the battle. And all of that you can watch here. And if you like, hit the sub button. And yeah, I'll definitely try to get as many people as I can on. I see Dominic, and I promise I'll get you on. And let me see if Aaron Blaze can come back on. Can I hear you? Let me see how you now.
Or still staticky on my end.
Yeah, I got some static issues with you. I definitely. I'm gonna try to parcel through them, but obviously Aaron Jones is definitely hitting you with everything he's got right now, and that's why he is the one-man revolution here.
Yeah, Boss Man really showed he was boss, and then yeah, I hated that. It really felt like
That's gonna hurt. That's definitely gonna hurt. That's definitely gonna be one that's gonna leave a mark, I'm sure.
it's nothing compared to this. Yeah, he winds up his arm, pulls my hair. I hate it, and there.
Dominic, by the way, Dominic says you should restart your internet.
Restart my Instagram or my
internet. Dominic says to fix your problem to restart your internet. So if you want to try that, I can read off some of the chat and have you come back if you think that can help you. If Dominic thinks that you can do that, you want to restart your internet, come back in here like 2 or so minutes, however long it takes, and I'll go through some of the chat. How about that?
I'm just gonna restart my phone. I will be
okay. All right. He's going to restart his phone. He's going to come back. We're going to get to everybody here in a minute. If you're here, first of all, Aaron Jones is speaking, but Aaron Blaze is not speaking, and that's why we're here. But like I said, the winner is Aaron, so Aaron definitely wins. But in the meantime, hit the sub button for our friends in DBW. I'm going to now get to everybody here in the chat. We'll let Aaron respond to some of these people. Let me start in the different order here tonight. And yeah, I definitely got you. We'll definitely talk. We'll definitely talk about it. I want to say hello to my buddy Young Lurch. Blaze the Bingo Hall's got his own channel. He's interviewed a number of different guys, and he interviewed somebody recently that was calling out, what was it, Lyro Rush, and what was it, Matt Cardona? That was a good interview. I saw the one with Triple M, the Golden Voice. That was a good one. Abram Storm, Blaze deserved better. I felt like that was a squash. Well, Aaron Jones, though. I mean, have you seen Aaron Jones? I mean, Listen, Aaron Jones is going to squash just about everybody. I guess Casey's here to talk about Anthony Steele. Is Anthony Steele on the way, or no? We're only kidding. Well, maybe not. Who knows? But Anthony, we have Anthony Steele. Maybe talk. I don't know. Maybe he's coming here. But how you doing, Mr. Matsuda? Looking forward to tomorrow's show. Just had a field trip, but I can't wait to go on more trips coming soon. Wink, wink. Maybe you and Anthony Steele are going on a trip. Is that what Casey's here to tell us? I don't know. But obviously, we'll do that here. Let me get to DBW's chat. Yep, give them a sub. Aaron Blades will not qualify. Well, I mean, Chase Wakefield had his own opinions. We'll get to that later. Hello. Yep, how you doing? I'm still a big fan of natural selection in the House of Wolves. Well, I mean, there's certainly the House of Wolves will be a topic here, I'm sure, coming up later in the week on Sportswire. Jacob Collins, who we were supposed to have Wednesday, but maybe James Taylor would wish partially he would have been here at 4:30 instead. But Jacob Collins is the new Prestige champion. A lot is going on in ROEW. We'll definitely get to that. Yep, we love Jacob. Jacob is doing a great job. Who else we have here in the chat? Colton Lee, Monday's guest. Blaze is a very good learner and a very good listener. He's here to learn and perform with the big boys. Well, you know what? He's on the clock. That's a good point. He is on the clock. I talked about this with Silas Walker. I talked about this with Mr. Wakefield himself, and I'm going to talk to Colton Lee about that match because if Aaron Blaze qualifies, he's in that ring with Colton Lee. Aaron Blaze, let's see how you sound
no
right
static. No static.
Much better. You sound better. You sound a lot better here. There you go. We're alive.
That, ladies and
That's okay. Things happen. I read through like half the chat. We'll come back to the rest of them in a little bit. So Aaron Jones, quite the competitor, certainly a tough opponent, as tough physically and literally you've been in the ring with, and you made quite a headline by going up against him. What do you take away from that experience to help you against Chase Wakefield?
Just be more prepared. I think in that match, well, not think, I believe that I was a bit in over my head because clearly I should have done a bit more tabs and thought a lot harder about facing Aaron Jones in my debut.
But that's interesting, though. But, you said something interesting. Chase Wakefield, right? You got him planned out, right? You've seen him. You know him. I asked you about other people, BES, Blackout, right? I talked about those people. And it was almost like, yeah, I've got them all scattered up. But Aaron Jones, no. Why?
I think I was just more concerned about getting my toes dipped in the sand as opposed to just getting more of a lay of the land in regards to Aaron Jones. And I think I would have done that with anybody, to be honest, but I still made an impact. I still got in some offense. I still gave people a moment, maybe not necessarily a match, but a moment to remember. So I can't be that bent out of shape about it, but I'm not going to let this loss define me, and that's what's going to carry into any and all wins I get moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, listen, there's no question that you're in the ring with a man of a resume like Aaron Jones, and you definitely take away something from it. And the future will certainly, I'm sure, sort itself out here. And, I also want to talk about for a few more minutes the DBW situation when it comes to Silas Walker. Now, Silas Walker is a man that I saw on Mr. Judgment's show, the Judgment Confessionals, which you can definitely check out on the DBW YouTube page, that you were going back and forth with him when he had some kind of positive things to say about you last weekend, but you went back on there with Mr. Judgment and talked about his situation with Austin James. You said justice for James, and you think that Austin James will be eventually the holder of the DBW Global Championship, but Silas Walker is technically now one of your bosses. So I'm curious why the back and forth, the friction with Silas Walker, just why?
Well, flattering while being a coward can only get you so far with me. Like, you can give me all the compliments you want. You can say all the nice things you want, but that does not sweep all the dirt under the rug that you've dished out all over the floor. Everyone with a brain, anybody with a brain cell can see it as plain as day. Austin James did not tap out. And I am also really, really great friends with Austin James, too, and I admire Austin James. And
yeah,
I
he's
don't
been here
think-
a lot on Sportswire. I've had Austin
yeah.
James about 4 different times, Aaron. I've had him on here many times.
Oh, yeah. And I don't think he'll be the DBW Global Champion. I know he'll be the DBW Global Champion because me and Austin, we are kind of one and the same. He said it on confessionals what he thinks about me personally, and he said he sees myself in him, someone that has a lot to prove and just needs the right opportunity. And I totally see that for him. And Silas is scared.
Is he?
Silence. He's scared because why would, of all times, during a DBW Global title match, if you really wanted to get in power, why wouldn't you wait until after the match concluded? Why would you get Gainer involved? Why would you have him give you an easy way out
Well,
to a
Gainer
hard
said he
fought
had to
contest?
do it. Gainer said he had to make that deal. He said that.
Yeah, but right then and there, though, Tom, I mean, come on. If you're really not scared of the guy, why would you do it right then and there? And the thing is, personal business should be done in a wrestling ring. It should be done in a wrestling match. Any other kind of business needs to be done outside of it. So if that was really, really important, it should have been done before or after the fact. He shouldn't have gotten involved in the match, is what I'm trying to say. Because Austin had him on the ropes. And that's why at
But throughout
Fallout,
that
he's
match,
gonna
though,
win.
Silas was clearly working on Austin. He had a plan. He had a strategy. We watched the match here on Sportswire, and certainly Silas was in control for a lot of that match. Though, I mean, you were there. You had to
True.
think that
True.
Silas was in firm control in that match, and Gainer had no choice but to stop the match. You don't agree with that?
I don't agree with that because if you're that confident in your wrestling ability, why do you need someone else to get you out of a corner that you put yourself in?
But you could have said conversely if Gator didn't step in, Austin James. We know he had an injury last season to deal with.
Well, that's the
It could
thing,
have been
Tom.
worse.
Now we're never going to know if he would have tapped out on his own accord.
Duly noted. Now that I agree with you on, but at the end of the day, Silas Walker wins the match, and in the record book, Silas Walker right now is the guy. Not only is the general manager, but he's got the longest run of any DBW champion. I would think you would be congratulatory of Silas. I would think on that podcast with Mr. Judgment, you would have certainly wanted to introduce yourself, welcome yourself to Silas, and say, hey, like a good new employee, like the newest signee of DBW, that you would certainly want to work with Silas and be one of those guys that's on Team Silas. I would think.
Tom, I said it earlier and I'll say it now. Me getting to the top of DBW isn't going to require shortcuts. I don't want that. And as a matter of fact, I don't think I could even begin to live with myself if that was how I got to the top of this company at this stage in my career. I can't do it. I can't just brush it over the rug that, oh yeah, Aaron Jones attacked my friend and made remarks towards his girlfriend. I can't just brush over that. Austin
Now
James is
that I
super
agree with
talented and
you
he
on
got
the
screwed
Brandon
over.
stuff. Now that I don't know if I would certainly have done, but Silas Walker though he praised you. He praised you here. I mean, I think Silas is a totally different entity. I mean, this is another guy that's been around a long time. This is a guy that has the longest run of any DBW champion. I would think that you would certainly say, you know what can I do to
It
help
doesn't
you,
sit right.
Silas?
Nope, it doesn't sit right with me. I've been watching on the sidelines before I even joined the roster to how he's kept the global championship and what he's put
He
certain
was
people
right though
through.
about Chaos Conspiracy. If Colton Lee he may not like to hear this, but if he would have listened to Silas months ago, Colton Lee wouldn't have to be a Heartless Sheriff. He would have won a championship match. Look at what's going on with Cassidy. Now Pearson's back. I mean, if you think about it, Silas Walker's been right on a lot of things, and he's having the best run of his career right now. And Chase Wakefield, I said the same thing to him last week. Chase Wakefield's in Silas Walker's position last year, and I mean, so to me, it seems like if anybody I'm going to follow the direction of, it's Silas Walker right now.
I mean, he can move around a bunch of pieces all he wants, but that doesn't mean you really play the game right. Anyone can move pieces
But
around,
he's
but it
well,
doesn't
that.
mean
But
you're
listen,
playing the
but it's
game
guys
by the
like him.
rules
Listen,
and
but
doing
it's
things the right way.
But it's guys like him and RTG. They have been moving the chess parts right. They've
Because
been
they're
moving.
afraid, Tom. Because they're afraid.
Well,
Obviously.
I think Silas and RTG, with the utmost respect I have for both men, because they've been here many times, they're two entirely different competitors. Silas certainly, when he goes out there, we know what he can do. RTG, it's a totally different
Right.
dynamic.
Let me put it
But
this way with Silas, though. Let me put it this way with Silas. It's all buddy buddy until me and him cross paths for whatever reason. Should I expect Knuckles to the back of my head next? It's only going to take something so silly for our paths to correspond, and it's going to be so minuscule, minimum, I should say, for something to set him off to where he wants to move me off the chessboard entirely. I'm just one step ahead of the game.
But it seemed to me again that he wanted you on his team.
Listen, he calls himself a snake, and I'm not getting bit.
Well, it's a game of snakes and arrows.
Yeah.
It's a game of snakes and arrows. Well, all right. Well, okay. I'll hold that fire for a bit. We'll come back maybe to DBW. Let me get to everybody one by one in the chat that started. We'll come back to those that we didn't read off. Chase Wakefield, we've been talking a lot about him, so there
Uh-huh.
you go. He was very excited for it. He got here actually before Zilla. Hello to Zilla. Thank you
Zilla,
very
you're
much.
awesome.
And
Good to see you as always.
we're going to get to BTW as well in a little while. I have a lot to say on BTW. Hello to Jackson Blade. How's everybody doing? Thank you, Jackson, for that. I said hell yeah because I was in the chat first.
Hey,
You know, Torrance Banks,
Lawrence
my main man.
Banks.
Torrance Banks is in the house. How you doing, Torrance? Torrance
Hope
from
you're doing good.
my home state, and I said yo yo yo. And the man that you're going to be wrestling here coming up in a few months. Now it's actually not too far away now, Mr. D'Angelo the Flame, and made it on time. Anything you want to say to D'Angelo? I'm sure he's now getting ready to wrestle somewhere and just wanted to pop in. Anything you want to say to him?
Said it before, I'll say it again here on Sportswire. I'm going to leave you burnt out in the moment, and that medal is coming home with me. We're finally going to find out who's the better traveler. We're finally going to figure out who's the better wrestler. But ultimately, I'm looking forward to this match, and I'm going to give these people a performance. I don't doubt that the real Raw Energy is going to do the same exact thing. But the thing is, my hand's going to be raised, and a medal will be around my neck. But I look forward to seeing you soon.
So, could I say that what's coming up here in DBW is going to help you prepare for a talent like D'Angelo the Flame?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I
Absolutely.
think being in a roster with again the names we've talked about, like Chase Wakefield, like Aaron Jones, and maybe even another man that I noticed you were going back and forth with on Wednesday's chat, Blaze versus Blaze, and the winner is Blaze. It's almost like Aaron versus Aaron, Blaze versus Blaze. What do you think there?
So, fun fact, ironically after I created my wrestling name, I figured out who the Blaze was. And
Yeah,
I was too far in to change it, and I didn't know what else to change it to, so I
you're
just
lucky
stuck
he
with
didn't
it.
sue you for taking his name.
I mean, yeah, he was the Blaze back then, but recently he's been the Blaze that cries, the Blaze that whines, the Blaze that stabs ego in the back because he needs to compensate for his own ego. Another guy that's just been taking shortcuts and claims he's a hero, but he plays the part of a villain. I just don't get it, Tom. I don't get how someone who once stood for something and once killed the unkillable because him and his band and the Don Marts were getting mistreated. The same guy that said this will be the last time anyone ever sees you, and he hits Hellfire with blood dripping down his arm, winning the DBW World Championship in a Ground Zero match. Is the same guy that says sometimes the villain needs to be the hero, and Austin James is shit. All of you people are stupid, but yet you're my people. It's just so contradicting, and it's so blissfully ignorant and arrogant, and I just can't
But
stand.
he's reading the tea leaves and he's going to where he's got to get to in his career to be successful. Look, he left ego, and that was a move that was correct for him. I mean, you talked about some of the stuff he's done in DBW in the past. He's a 3-time DBW world champion. He's a man that's traveled in his own right now, and he's traveling all over the place. And I mean, he had the name Blaze first, and he's upset about it.
Well,
He's upset
regardless
about
of what he thinks and what other people think, because people are going to talk about me, go figure.
it. Yeah,
There is
we
only
have a lot of
one
comments.
Blaze, and I'm going to stick to this for the amount of work I've put in. There is only one Blaze that shatters that forbidden door in backyard and underground wrestling. And Tom, it's not Judgment's little boy. It's the man you see that's right on this screen.
Well, Judgment famously wanted to almost kill his offspring, and he said that here on Sportswire. I'm not going to go there, but yeah,
But my point
political.
is, and I'm just going to say this about Ace Christian, since he wants to give me some advice, I'm going to give him some advice. Where he has thrived, I've been trashed. Where he has succeeded, I have failed. He has been in the most comfortable of waters, and I almost risked drowning for certain places that aren't even in existence anymore. See, Ace Christian, I'm going to, since I like talking about history, Cameron Jackson versus Cage, Best in the Yard 3. I remember watching that promo package, and right in the mix of playing an instrumental version of Gangster's Paradise, Cage said, and I quote, "I have never been in your shoes, and you have never been in mine." That applies to this because Ace Christian has never been in the freaking swamps that I've been. He's been living La Vida Loca, the perfect life, the perfect opportunities. No, I'm being serious.
No,
He's
people have said that. No, I get that. I get that. Ace Christian maybe have had opportunity, but you know what? David Flair had opportunities from Ric Flair, didn't work out for him. David San Martino had opportunities from Bruno San Martino, didn't quite work out. Ace Christian, he may have had those opportunities, but guess what? He ran with them and he scored a touchdown, and
and
he's
good for
moving.
him. And good for him. And now we are finally at the point where we see that in similar realms, can I capitalize off similar opportunities to Ace Christian? But the question is, could Ace Christian walk a day in my shoes for half the shit I've been put through, half the shit I've dealt with? Remember what happened to me towards the end of last year and all of that? I don't think Ace Christian would even know what to do in that predicament.
Well, you could. Well, I mean, that's a question that I would have to ask Ace Christian on, and I don't have Ace Christian here on Sportswire to ask him that question. So when he does come back on here later in the summer, which he will be back, I'll ask him that question. But until then, let's get to the chat because yes, you've
Yeah, let's get
definitely
the chat.
walked and rode miles and miles and miles on buses that Ace Christian hasn't, but he's also done some things in his own right. Thank you, Jackson. He'd like to wish you well.
Thank you,
Brett
Jackson.
Anderson, the brand new BYCW hardcore champion, who's back out there in the ring, would like to say hello. He messaged me very excited to see you on here, and I'm
So,
happy as well to see you. Colton Lee, the newest member of the DBW roster, is on Sportswire Go Time, and Colton's got plenty to say Sunday night. Can't wait to see him. The legendary Doc Holliday is here. He'd like to say hello. Yep, Doc is coming to Sportswire next month. It's long overdue, about 2 years in the making. Yep, Doc's been in the chat all the time. Doc has been here. You know, that's who you never know who to see on Sports. Why? Listen, Pitbull Gary Wolf was in your chair last week, right? We've had this guy Rhino on here, Savio Vega. Rhino was in AEW, was here on Sportswire first. We had Great White featured in Blabbermouth 3 times. My buddy Vito Fratelli is here next Thursday night, who's only wrestling right now as we speak, Chris Masters. He's talking about that next Thursday. So you just never know who shows up here. Yes, hello to everybody. Yep, hello, hello. Dominic is definitely still not a fan. We'll get to YBW in a little while. Management is here. Yep, we're very happy about that. And
God.
I'm here to hear what he has to say. Well, yeah, it sounds like a lot of people are here for that. Doc
Yeah, because I
Holliday is
actually
in.
draw views on Sportswire, unlike you. Freaking
Well,
nerd.
you know what? I'm sure Dominic would dispute that. We'll give him an opportunity to do that next month. But Doc Holliday, yeah, he's been here in the chats quite a bit the last few weeks. But yeah, I know in the ring, people want to see him out there. And Chase, I'll connect you to Doc Holliday. I have his information, so I will definitely check that. Yeah, Colton knows a lot of the old WTW, WZW guys. He knows a lot of them. Eddie Exile, it's Rob
Eddie,
O'Malley. Yep. Eddie,
Eddie.
I love Eddie. Eddie's definitely a character. Eddie's a great guy. We've got Rob O'Malley's been here, Doc Holliday. So a lot of those guys, hardcore, Shockey. So yep, all those guys Colton knows, which is awesome.
Uh,
Yep, doing good, Doc. Yep, and putting on shows. Yes, he has. Management's happy that you're a part of the roster. We agree.
be
The
a part.
grind never stops. It never does. The reality is that reality that YBW. We're gonna get to that in a little while. After we talk BTW, I'm gonna get there.
Brain aneurysm. Here we go.
Thank
Oh,
you to our friends in Blood and Honor Wrestling, letting us know the new episode is out. Check it out. Thank you for coming by. Our
hey,
friend
gamer.
in the BYW, Anthony Arias will be back at some point next month. Definitely a lot to say, I'm sure. Already got a story about Aaron from the Unfinished Business Weekend. Maybe Colton will save that for Sunday's show.
Ooh,
And yes, I
what about
agree,
me?
Zella. Hello to everybody. Yep, hello, hello, hello. Just wait until the people see Chase Wakefield versus Aaron Blaze. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't wait. And I've been talking about it now for a few weeks, and I hope that people tune in. Because, by the way, Unfinished Business almost at 1,000 views.
Use.
Almost 1,000 views. Wow! What's It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people watching.
Absolutely.
A lot of people watching DBW, and that's pretty cool. Mr. Judgment, the man that was interviewing you and hosting on his channel, would like to say Reverend Blaze, exclamation points. And I do owe Mr. Judgment an appearance. We spoke about this a few weeks ago, but let's let the DBW season play out a bit more. And
One
that's another.
day, one day, one
He'll,
day.
he'll be here. He'll be here. You got to take me higher, Mr. Judgment. Well, somebody's a Creed fan. And yeah, oh, yes. The Prophet. Yep, we already played that. Let me go back. I've run through like half these comments.
Aw.
So let's see here. Who else do we got since you left? Still, yeah, we got that. You have a question. Okay. Casey wants to say, because she was here famously a few weeks ago with Anthony Steele, but she's saying she's not spying on behalf of Anthony Steele, but she's here for herself. So that's great. I mean, I'm sure that's a topic for a different time. Yeah, definitely in the next few weeks. Definitely.
Abraham.
I've watched you everywhere. Would Japan or Australia be on your bingo card one day? That's a good question.
Fun fact, I was supposed to actually go to ETW and Backyard Wrestling Down Under last year, and then I moved several times, so stuff happens. But I mean, I think ETW is basically over, and Backyard Wrestling Down Under is still going. So would Aaron Blaze be the cross country talent? I haven't thought that far ahead yet. I don't want to say never, because every time I say never, something ends up happening.
Have you ever been out of the country?
Never in my
Okay.
life.
Wow.
Anything.
Wow. Okay.
But it's a goal. It's a goal, and it doesn't have to be. And don't get me wrong, I love wrestling, but I would like to just do something along those lines of just not wrestling and just going for the experience. But then I would regret not wrestling. So I don't know. Only time will tell if I pull the trigger on it.
That's it. Now, listen, you know what? And I'm sure conversely, he would say the same thing about wrestling. Hello to our friends in BCW. They're here Wednesday. I'm excited. Maxwell Reeves and Tsunami is going to be a much anticipated show. And Chase Wakefield said he's going down there. Chase Wakefield said he's going down to Ben Salem. I mean, you must have a thought on Chase Wakefield going down to Ben Salem.
I don't have a thought on Chase Wakefield going there, because it doesn't surprise me, because he is someone that just does it for the love of wrestling, and that's how it should be. And he doesn't just do it with his friends, unlike some people. But BCW, I will say this: I have been there since almost the beginning of Ben Salem Championship Wrestling. I've watched their growth a lot.
They've gained over 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah,
in
they
9
recently,
months.
and
In
I,
9 months.
because I'm a competitive guy and I always want my product to look a certain way. I used to be mad at this, but I'm not mad at this anymore. They recently surpassed YBW in subs, and
Listen, I had
honestly, I'm proud
Maxwell
of
on.
them.
Listen, Maxwell came on here, I think Labor Day, and they just hit 500 subs. So that means in less than 9 months, they hit 1,000 subs.
Yep,
Averaged
and
100
they
subs a
deserve that.
month.
They
Yeah,
did.
listen, their Instagram right now, you look at what the views and likes
it's
they get
insane.
on the reels. I mean,
I'm jealous.
listen, Maxwell and Tsunami came, even here on Sportswire, they got like almost 150 views. They got a lot of views, and the clips we had on Instagram, I mean, I think they got like some of the more viewed clips I've had in a while. So they're definitely a topic, and you're definitely coming on the next few weeks. Offer, I don't think I'm going to take any offers at the moment. I think you offered me something, and I think I'm not an offer guy at the moment, but I definitely love to have you on Sportswire, and we'll definitely talk in the next few weeks. A lot to talk about. Hello to our friend, the Samoan Dragon, the High Chief Il Drago. He has a lot to say when he comes back. We'll do that here. Yep, everybody's excited about that. I appreciate, though, Abramstone. Looking forward to Abramstone coming back on here. Don't trust Silas. I've learned. Well, see what I mean?
Yeah.
But he should have learned from Silas, and look at where he could have been.
I mean,
the man didn't win a match for a. He had like 5 championship matches, didn't win all of them. Didn't win any one of them. If he's in the match, I mean, listen, now he's going to tell me why he's learned, and he'll talk about that Sunday night. Yes, we're good to see everybody. We love seeing people here. And I hope your voice will be here. Yeah, I definitely look forward to that. Always good to see you in here. Yep, definitely love seeing everybody here. And yeah, you know what? I saw the other day, Haley Seinfeld said she was like part black and part like all other ethnicities. You never know who's really what. She did an interview about in Sinners, and she had like 10% of her blood, I think, was like African American or something like that. So you just don't know. I mean, people trace back, and I don't know. So maybe he's got Samoan. Maybe we all are Samoan. Who really knows? I don't know at this
Next thing
point.
you know, I'm part
Well,
Irish. Whatever.
that's what I'm saying. You just don't know, really. You can't. That's why I do a news show, and my co-host is Orthodox Jewish, and we were talking about this. And we said, well, that's why we all have our blood is red. That's really what our color is, red. And then it got a laugh. But Sean Jovi, who just put his vlog out, is here. One of my favorites, who's be back on here. Mr. Jovi is here. A lot of people here. Yep, good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good evening. Omen Black is here, the boogeyman, who certainly what a match he had with Justin Parsley. I watched a little bit of it, and Felix Jones definitely maybe shocked some people, and he would also say to you, "Good luck to you in DBW." That's a nice little gesture. Good luck to you in DBW. That's great. Yep. A wild Omen appears, like a wild boar, right? My friend Arsenio Di Oreo is watching. Oh, it's really nice. Thank you, and tell him we said hello, and I can't wait to get you back to Sportswire within the next few weeks. Very excited about that. Drago, I'll be catching the match here later tonight. Yeah, very excited about that. WCE apparently has a new show airing tomorrow. You could travel there, Blaze. You might be the face now that they're short a resident rock star. LOL. Well, I don't know if that's in your plans. I don't know if WCE, if we're showing up, are you showing up on their product or probably? I mean, that's up to you. I mean, let us know, but I don't know.
Tom, remember the last time? I'll just say this. Remember the last time I was on here on Sportswire?
Yeah.
And remember how I post certain things on social media? If
Yes.
you look really closely at, like, I use words a certain way to where you can pick them out. And I think there were several times where I referenced DBW.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Certain people figured it out, and then Wakefield spoiled it before it aired with the match card.
Well,
I'm kidding. But no, I always plant seeds. That's the thing no one has picked up about me yet, is that anytime I make a response or I touch
mhm.
on something, I always plant seeds to what I'm going to do. Remember last year you were
Yeah.
interviewing me in
Yes.
March or whatever, and then you asked me about Jack Delta, and then
Yeah.
golly, look where I
Well,
am.
well, how about the end of last year and you showed up west, right? So yes, you have always left clues, but I don't think this one there's a clue here for. I think that's what Jovi was trying to put LOL toward. I don't think that there's a clue with respect to WCE. I don't think you're showing
Would
up.
Let me ask you, man to man, as a friend, would you be surprised if it happened?
No. I mean,
You
look,
wouldn't. Okay.
nothing would surprise me at this point. If you would go back to WCE, I mean, or go there and wrestle, I mean, that wouldn't surprise me.
I'll
But I
say this:
would.
it's possible. It's possible, and I am. It's not hard to get in contact with me and discuss
Well, you know
business.
what? I'm sure that's going to get people's attention. But you know what? There's a lot of places I'm sure that people would like to see you in. And yeah, I mean, and I think Il Drago said it was crazy. And also, yep, and he said it was a joke. See, that's why I didn't think you were showing up in WCE. Omen would like to say this. Aaron, I'll be the first to say this. I was wrong about you. You're a bright young man and definitely an up and coming contender. You're definitely not a nemesis of mine. I'm not sure if there was a
I
clue there.
I get the joke. Yeah, I appreciate it. We can talk later after this.
Okay. Um, we'll go band for band. I mean, you're gonna come on the platform. I'm gonna talk to you about Wrestling Zero. I mean, I don't really know what else do you want. I mean, you're gonna come on here. You're gonna tell me what's on your mind. You're gonna be in character. We'll have a conversation and
Yes, sir.
like any other show, But yeah,
Go
I'm
band
looking forward.
crazy, man.
I'm looking forward to it though. But I would remind you and anybody else, you are still in the same chair that Pitbull Gary Wolf was in and Rhino was in and Savio Vega. So
No pressure. No
yeah,
pressure.
no pressure. But that's okay. Everybody's got their own pressures. But speaking of things real quick, because I do want to transition with the time I have, I want to talk about BTW most certainly. I want to talk about YBW. I want to plug that. But
Hmm.
what is your future other places? Best in the Yard. I've seen some of the posters. Matt DeMorris, obviously a big deal there, right? See a lot of the names that I'm sure you would like to be in a ring with. But is there any possibilities first in places? Like, would you be a part of the Best in the Yard show coming up? Was that a possibility? Would you like to be a part of that?
Obviously, I would love to. It would be amazing, but it is very exclusive to
Yeah,
get into. Just any VTW territory based
sure.
thing. Um, yeah, a lot of people have asked, from what I've heard, and a lot of them are told no because you have to be at the tippity top of your game. And I'm not saying these some people aren't on the top of their game because I feel like that a lot of them are better than me,
Mm.
but I can kind of understand it from wanting your product to look a certain way. But if it happens, it happens. Then I'm on best in the yard.
But you
I
mentioned it
honestly
a
feel
little
like,
while ago. You've
yeah,
watched those shows, and you know there's a lot of people that go on those shows, and that's a big deal. I mean, that's they have a heritage with that, and I would just think that that would be something you might be interested in being a part of the Best in the Yard show that's coming up, which is on the VTW YouTube channel, which will air later this year.
yeah. Well, I'm a firm believer in you can't have best in the yard without one of the best in the yard. But if I get a call and you hear burning your roll down by the word alive, then you guys will know right then and there if the call was made. But we
Now,
will.
I know I ask this every time you come on since you've been there last, but there's one company that you're a part of that's obviously still a question mark, and that's ROEW. Obviously, ROEW's got a lot going on, natural selection. You've got James Taylor owning the company, a lot there that's been going on. You've got Jacob Collins won the prestige title. You've got certainly a lot with CJ Black and what his future is there. Darkron, the Underground OG, and I always feel like I ask this to you every few months you come on, but what is your future in ROEW?
If there is an opportunity for me to get what I want, I'm going to take it. Because let's be honest, the guy that's in charge but doesn't really do anything. It's no secret him and I don't like each other, so I think he's the
I
last
asked him the
person.
question at the end of the show 2 nights ago. What would happen if James Taylor and Aaron Blaze were in the same room, and how would that go along? And it's well documented right now that James Taylor and Aaron Blaze don't see eye to eye, but is it really more? Is it James Taylor? Is it Aaron Blaze? Is it something that? What if you guys actually were in ROEW together? I think that that's a question a lot of people would like to know. I mean, you've been in ROEW, right? James Taylor has not been in ROEW.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's a question that James owns the company. He's obviously done a lot behind the scenes. He's been going back and forth with natural selection. I'm sure when the time comes, he'll show up there. But you've been in ROEW. Right? We know that you've had matches there. Cash Carter, Jacob Collins. You've been in there with Jack Delta, certainly. You've done a lot in ROEW in the time that you were there. But what if the possibility happened? If James Taylor does show up in ROEW and you're in ROEW, what would that be like, more or less?
I'm gonna give the kid some advice because he acts like one more than I do, which is crazy because he's twice my age, yet half the wrestler I am. He goes one way, I go the other.
Mhm.
I don't want anything to do with James Taylor,
Okay.
really. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not there for James Taylor. I'm
Right, right.
I'm I'm in ROEW for me, and I don't care if that sounds selfish.
No.
I literally started this trend and this wave of guys that came in right after me and Jack Delta told one of the biggest and best stories in all of underground and backyard wrestling history. That's a fact because right after you saw DKW guys and Justin Parsley and blah 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 blah. I created that. While
Okay.
meanwhile, he's allowing chaos to reign, pun not intended, to
Well,
Delta.
I asked the question
He's
last week on the show with some of the guys in the IMF if he had lost that locker room. Now, Jacob did win the prestige title. James came on here and said, "No, everything's good. Me and Kron are
he
great."
has a few people in that locker room only because he likes certain people in the locker room, and I don't give a rat's ass if he likes me or
Right.
not. I'm not here to be your best friend. I'm here to be a champion. I am here to draw views. I am here to get the people talking. Whether you like me or not is irrelevant. I don't have to talk to you, and the thing is, if you have nothing nice to say, you probably shouldn't say it at all. So if he ever does decide to come to REW and actually be an owner instead of giving these meaningless slaps on the wrist to natural selection that clearly aren't doing
Well, he
anything,
tried to find them and
a
suspend them.
poor
Yeah.
referee got his ass handed to him today. Our rings destroyed, the venue's trashed, and he's still nowhere to be found. But sending in videos. Where is
Well, I
he?
think I've asked that to natural selection. Cash. Alex and Jason were here, and that was a topic here on Sportswire, that what do they think if James Taylor will show up? And I think that that's a question that obviously people have been wondering. You certainly have been there in ROEW. Obviously, there certainly could be a future of Aaron Blaze in ROEW still, but James Taylor, I asked that question. I think at the end of the day, and I've said this to James off the air, I think if you and James were in ROEW, I think you guys would just do the right thing and work together, and I think that would be what all of us as fans of ROEW would want to see. But we don't know when you'll be back there, and we don't know
I'll
when.
be back soon. And
Okay,
as long as he minds his own business and just stays out of mine, everything will be fine.
but I also look at it like he had issues with Jack Delta, and I think they sorted it out when Jack Delta was there. Obviously, you wrestled him at that time, so I kind of think at the end of the day, if you're professionals, you both are professionals, you both are accomplished.
Oh, I'm as professional as it gets.
And I think that obviously it'll be great. I think it'll be great. I certainly am a fan of ROEW, just like I'm a fan of BTW, YBW, and DBW. And I would definitely love to see you back there. And, we'll see what happens. But again, obviously, ROEW right now, there's a lot of questions. Certainly, James has got issues right now with the ring.
Yeah, and something needs to be done about that rather than just saying, let me do a James Taylor real quick. I'm gonna find you. Your asses don't run shit. I run shit, but I'm never fucking there. What he needs to do, instead of these empty idle threats, is actually say something that will actually knock some sense into them, knock them in line. Say, if you keep this up, I'm gonna strip you of the ROEW World Title. I'm gonna strip you of the DKW World Championship. I'll fire you. I will suspend you. Blah 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 blah. But he just lets it happen because he doesn't care. He doesn't care.
Well, look, you know what? That's a question I'm gonna certainly, I'm sure, continue to ask over the next few weeks, and we'll have to see if that actually is answered. If James will show up there, and I know that James is working hard, and he's going to certainly figure it out. Natural Selection have certainly been doing their best, and we'll see what happens. Let me get to a few more comments before I transition to BTW. Yep, thank you, Yoshi. Yes, looking forward to tomorrow. In YBW, you're definitely a tyrant in that trampoline ring, but then he said he was kidding. I'm currently trying to get a hold of a company that we both worked at in Indiana. I tried calling, but seems like their phone lines are too busy. Hopefully, I get that call back. Well,
I wouldn't even worry about getting that damn call.
I think he's got the IMF championship right now. And yes, hello to everybody here. Yes. We're going to get to...
Wait, who's got... Sorry to cut you off, but who's got the IMF championship? Because I didn't watch the show yet.
Omen Black is the champion. He retained the title.
Okay, I figured. I thought Justin won, and I was going to be like...
No, he retained the... Justin's got the PWF championship, and James Taylor is competing against Dalton Skull for the PWF Uprising championship, but... There's obviously been some talk about unifying those titles. We asked James that question Wednesday, and James said he wasn't ready to answer that question yet because he's got to wrestle Dalton first. So we don't know, but there was certainly some talk about unifying those titles against either man at Summer Bash. But again, I don't know what that future will be with that. And, James first has to, who's, by the way, making his return to the trampoline. He's done that already. He returned to the trampoline for the first time in 21 years. He's going back on the trampoline again to compete for that PWF Uprising Championship. And obviously that has been a big topic the last couple of days because he certainly said some things, but we love everybody else. And I certainly can't wait to talk about that match and talk about everything else in between. We're gonna get to Cart. We're gonna get to you guys. We're gonna get to the Golden Guns in a few minutes. Gonna get to that. Hello to Yoshi. Yep, I want to move on. Yep. How everybody doing? Great, having a lot of fun. Yep. Hi to BCW. Doing yep. Okay, thank you, Casey. Who's not Anthony Steele. Good luck on the prom. I hope you have a date. I hope you have some great stuff ahead.
Live it up, Abraham. Live it up.
I didn't go to my prom, but that's okay. I got this.
I didn't either.
I didn't know, but he's here, baby. We're gonna get ready to that next RTG, baby. He's here. Maybe Abram's going with Casey to the prom. Maybe that would be right. Maybe these two are going to the prom. I don't know. Maybe that's what Abram's here to tell us. But I don't know if that's the case. I don't think that's going to be. But who knows? Maybe that's what they're here for. Yes, the man is here. I'm gonna get to that in a second. Good news. I got that call back. They asked me if I was something, and obviously I said no. And they told me they don't want me. Well. I'm going to leave that at that, and we'll say, we'll play another time for that. But yep, hello, and I think Casey said something. I don't know. Maybe she's going out with Abram Storm. We don't know it, but let's leave that at that. And by the way, Colton Lee says maybe we can travel together and dominate.
I mean, see, if this was the 2021 version of me, that was an asshole that wore glasses and a leather jacket. I'm still an asshole at times. I'm not gonna deny that, but I'm not that guy anymore. Sadly, Colton Lee. Otherwise, I would have hopped right on it, and maybe you and I would probably take the DBW tag titles.
Well, I think that's an interesting topic. And Abram, Casey is this person here. This is this person here, just to let you know. That's that person there. So he didn't
Okay.
know who I was referring to.
I
And
didn't.
well, now you just did. I win. I broke Aaron Blaze and made him laugh.
Which is funny because I thought I was gonna break on confessionals, and I was trying
Yeah,
so
I
for
was
that.
waiting for that, but
Nope.
that was a good episode, and Colton can switch at any time. Good point. All right, you know what? It's time to talk about it for a little while because I got to get to YBW today. I want to plug some stuff there, but I have to ask you about BTW because BTW is always in the rotation here on Sportswire. And, everybody was talking about first, you had a shot at that BTW championship at BTW Rumble 9. You had quite a war with Blackout. Comatose and I spoke a little bit about that a few weeks ago. I knew this was now going to definitely change here a little bit. And you came up short, but you definitely put quite a fight up. But now you're in the ring coming up with the coolest guy in the yard, and he's wanted a rematch with you. You said a few things, but now you've got a chance to take that BCF championship, and that's coming up here in less than 2 weeks. It's actually next Tuesday. And I wanted to get your perspective on that and what's to come now with you and BES in the rematch.
So, with BES, we
Yes,
have
sir.
match number 2, company number 22. Because for those of you who don't know, since the BCF championship is on the line, this match is going to be casted from the BTW YouTube channel, the BCF YouTube channel. And say I win that championship, I think that kind of just makes me part of the roster. But regardless, BCF is number 22 on my list. So there's that.
Mhm.
Um, BES, man, he's got talent, he's got gift, but he underestimated me, which is what a lot of people from here are going to do, and a lot of people in this community have been doing. And what's crazy about BES is he was the guy that finally got caught in the crosshairs, per se, because we've seen big money matches with Aaron Blaze, and he can't win the big one. He can't beat this guy. He can't do it. He can't beat a big name. I beat the coolest name in the yard to be 4-0 to get a shot at one of the top world championships in this whole community. And yeah, I failed against Blackout, the guy that burns people out left Blackout. Sure.
I mean, what he's
Pun
done as
intended.
champion, yes, that was definitely a war, and you went.
Yeah, he's a monster. But so am
Yeah,
I. So am I. And I beat BES. He suffered a lot of head trauma. I know you saw the little backflip, super kick, blah blah blah, whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, one of the highlights of that entire season, and it's gonna be a reoccurring theme for BES, sadly, because you can be as cool as you want. That didn't stop me from kicking your ass. And at West Coast Revival, we are finally gonna see the revival of Aaron Blaze taking championships because it has been way too long, Tom, since I last held a championship that mattered, and that bothers me. It really, really
And
bothers
he's been a
me.
champion. He's been the BCF champion for the better part of 9 months. This is a championship that obviously he won. It's a title that certainly carries a lot of weight. It carries a lot of clout. I put the matchup here you and him had before BTW Rumble 9. And there's no question that this is another anticipated match. I'm going to say something. You're either going to think I'm nuts or you're going to say, you know what? Yeah, you should have thought of this earlier. BES and you, it's almost like the West Coast version of what we're going to expect between you and Chase Wakefield. I mean, almost they're carbon copies of each other.
No, I can agree with that. I mean, they are both immensely talented. They both have long, lengthy careers. They're both
They also
built
look
like
the
a
same. They
yeah. They're
probably
also
weigh the same. He's got a
oh yeah
little more hair right now.
oh yeah.
They
They're both
move
built like a
alike.
but they're both built like a sardine. But like either way, it's gonna be a great moment because I am going to beat him 2 times in a row, and instead of becoming number one contender for world championship, I get the opportunity to beat him for a world championship for number 18, and
And you would
that's
go
gonna be
out there, listen, and you would go out there and continue your run here in BTW. I mean, really, you had one setback so far, one setback that understandably a man that you followed throughout your entire career has never beat him. And that's RJS. And if you go out there and beat BES, I mean, 5-1 in this season so far. 5-1. I mean, last I checked, I mean, this would show your run that, you know what? You are the trailblazer. You are the headline. And what better way to headline than being the BCF champion here?
oh yeah, absolutely. And BCF is a show that doesn't get talked about much, but it's one that I remember being somewhat involved with and sharing some conversations with and watching the crazy shit they do. So to
Yep.
have the chance to be their champion is going to be amazing, and I
And how
hope
about what
to
he did
elevate
BES
the
to
show.
win that title? He was literally jumping off the balcony. He was jumping off balconies to win that match several months ago. I mean, so you're gonna get everything figuratively and literally inside and outside the ring coming up here with him
Oh
next Tuesday.
yeah, and as crazy as it sounds, I actually feel like a handful of these matches would be 10 times better if they were on the old school trampoline. Not that I don't like wrestling in the BTW ring. I love it.
Mm.
But I don't know, it's just that nostalgic feel that I grew up watching and am now taking part in and have taken part in different places, whether people remember them or not. So I kind of wish that the trampoline was kind of still around because I feel like the ring kind of it doesn't give me the full BES. I don't feel
But
like I
you're
got
getting but you're
BES at
getting the
this.
BCF champion BES. He's putting that title on the line, and he's definitely going to be motivated about what happened last month between you two. He's going to certainly be motivated next Tuesday to show why he's the coolest guy in the yard. And you're an outsider. Even RTG baby, when he was here a couple weeks ago, talked about that. He talked about outsiders like you. He talked about even outsiders like Comatose. And even though he doesn't always see eye to eye with his son, he
Oh, bless you.
certainly wants to make sure that, to steal a phrase of his other son, that the sun sets on this headliner, this trailblazer, when it comes to BES retaining that BCF championship next Tuesday.
Shame it's not going to happen. Shame it is not
I thought I would
going
use
to
the
happen.
Sunsetter line, get it?
No,
Headline
I
BES.
get it. I get it. And that would be another highlight of my career wrestling RJS, but I
Yeah.
beat his brother as gifted as he is, as cool as he is, as experienced as he is, and it's just crazy how maybe we can put it to age, maybe we can put it to he's not the guy he used to be, but I want the BES that I watched in 2020, 2021, 2022. The old BES wouldn't have lost to me in my prime. I kind of have a feeling.
But listen, you said something that was interesting. He's only been in a ring for a short while recently, and he's making an adjustment. And that video game style, that Spider-Man like moveset, he's got to figure out how to adjust to that. And listen, now he gets you the second time. Now he knows what to expect, and that's going to prepare him, because just like you being a student of the game, he's a student of the game. And his daddy definitely doesn't want you to walk away with the championship. In fact, his daddy probably would prefer Comatose to have a championship over you at this point. I mean, let's kick the ballistics. I mean, you've seen it. You've been on screen with him here, and you've been on screen with him in BTW.
No, no, I have sadly shared the unfortunate reality of sharing the screens with those two. And excuse me. Oh shit.
I know we've talked a lot. We will get to the last part of the show shortly. I know
I
people.
don't know
You
what
when you
happened
come
there.
here, people they want to talk to you. What can I say? You have a lot to talk about tonight.
God, I did a comatose because that's what he's gonna do at West Coast Revival. He's gonna choke. Um,
Well, I don't have a reason really to bring up comatose right now. I mean, unless you want. I mean, there really isn't. He's got his own issues, but I mean,
whew.
RTG baby is watching this, and he certainly doesn't want you to walk away with a championship of one of his offspring.
Yeah, well, it's a shame I didn't come all the way to Oregon from Pennsylvania for no reason. Like I said, it's participating isn't enough.
Technically, it's funny you said that as we're here with the headline, Aaron Blaze. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figurative. Yeah, you go buy yourself a minute there. And if we're here on Sportzwire Radio, hit the sub button for our friends in BTW. Check us out. We're almost at 1,500 subscribers. But you actually would hold the championship technically with a California origin. Think about this, right? You're from Pennsylvania, you go to Oregon, but you win a championship based out of California. I mean, you're really covering all the food groups there, more or less.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Funny enough, I was in California, coming back and heading to Oregon for, as you say, a New York minute.
I,
Which sucks because like I was there and then I was in Nevada and all that other stuff, which sucks because I can't even do anything.
yeah.
But it's just great for the experience of just traveling. But back on topic. Sorry, I'm dragging ass here. It's going to be great because I've done that before. I have won other companies' championships in different promotions, different territories, but the goal still remains the same. I don't think it matters the location. It just matters if that's the goal you have and if that's what you want to do, then you're going to do it no matter where it is.
And certainly
That's
winning the
it.
winning the BCF championship at West Coast Revival coming up here next Tuesday would certainly solidify what you've been doing. But first, you've got to get past BES.
Can we skip
And
to the end where I pin him? Sorry. I just want to get to the spot where he goes for a moonsault and I super kick him into oblivion.
yeah, we'll do that. I know this was one of the longer matches any company's had this season, but it was for good reasons. So we're coming up. I think I got a little closer to the end. Yeah. No, not yet. Let's go. Let's go about right here. I think we're coming close to the
A
end now.
bit more forward.
I think another minute, right? Another minute. You want to go another minute? Want to
Oh
come
wait,
back?
back. You missed it.
That's why I had 56-28 because I remembered where to go. Let's go here. You're gonna come back up here in about 20 seconds, and RTG is in the chat. I'm gonna get to RTG in a minute, so we're gonna get
Oh
to
my
him
God.
shortly. But you and him are both getting up, and this was definitely one of the longer matches I've watched this year in the Underground. There's no question you were put to the limit here against BES.
Oh yeah, he is Spider Monkey. Like it's just insane. Like it's funny how I used to call Jason Storm Firecracker, but I think BS is more of a firecracker.
No,
Dude just
literally.
goes off and off and off and off and off, and it's hard to keep up. But he made one mistake. He let me breathe, Tom. He let me breathe.
And there it
And
goes. There
there,
it goes.
there
There
it
it
is.
goes. There it goes. And
And
there you are about to
setting
make
up for a
one hell.
burnout. He somehow gets up after that. Doesn't matter. Bicycle kick, hits the ropes. I get back up, load him up, deadlifting him. Head trauma for your mama. And a
And
one. And a two. And I make a headline out of you. That's just
and
what it
I'll
is.
tell
And
you
it's going to
what,
happen again.
and that could certainly be next Tuesday. That could be the case. These two men will square off in the rematch, this time for the BCF championship, which BES has been holding. We also have another go home show of BTW. I'm going to put the poster up here for that in a minute. And yes, Aaron is alive. And this was
Yeah,
his.
and as someone said on commentary, I'm holding up the devil horns. Okay, I'm just gonna get this out of the way right now.
Yep.
This is an H. If you can't grasp this concept by now, this is an H. Okay, H for
Yeah, I
headline.
mean,
Like this is
listen,
not devil horns.
we love the devil horns, but we
It's not
actually do.
devil horns though. God damn it.
Well, in heavy metal, it's like that's
No,
what.
this is devil horns.
Oh well, they
This
do.
is
Everybody does it, but this is also in wrestling. They do the too sweet, too sweet. Do that
nope,
too. Yeah.
nope. I put my thumb here. Put my
Well,
thumb here for it.
I would love to show that in a minute, but I gotta put BTW's YouTube link up because I gotta go out there and give it out for everybody. Because first of all, RTG is here, and I gotta take care of business. So hit the sub button for our friends in BTW. I would encourage that. They are well over 3,300 subscribers. Wow, what great companies, right? We got DBW 4,000 plus, BTW 3,300, ROEW closing in on 1,300. Omen
Yeah.
Black was here with our friends in the IMF, almost at 4,000. YBW's here, closing in on 1,500. So we've got a lot of companies to support. You got to hit the sub button. CSW's inching up the ladder. Wrestling Zero's inching up the ladder. So hit the sub button for all of them. I have the poster up here for this coming Tuesday show before we transition into the last topic of the evening. And I want to make sure everybody goes out and watches this coming BTW Season 7, Episode 151. And we've got a lot here. We're going to have final words from RTG. We're going to also have Steven Storm final words. A man that's been here many times, the Sunsetter RJS. Aaron Blaze is going to be in the house. BES is going to be in the house. Boy, I'm fired up already. We're going to have RJS face to face with Mad Jack. They have been going at it for months. Opening match, BTW Tag Team titles, BCF4 against Comatose and Alex Ryder, who, by the way, Alex Ryder defeated BES. Boy, BES is definitely suffering at the hands of outsiders of late, and Comatose wants more gold, and RTG may call him Dumatos, and Comatose may be focusing on promo wrestling, but Comatose right now wants to be the GOAT of BYW. He wants to be the man that finally wins a world championship in his career in a company like BTW. And you're allowed. I mean, what's so funny though about Comatose? What's so funny about him? Did you think maybe the promo
You
wrestling
know
and
what?
IBPW?
Congratulations, Comatose. You are one of many people that goes into a promo group and then cuts the same promo. You won a battle royal from the last spot, and it took you 2 tries to do it because you didn't have the balls to earn an opportunity like I did. Good for freaking you. You get to headline West Coast Survival for the BTW title that everyone knows that I should have won and would have won if RTG stayed out of me and Blackout's business. It was
So you
between
think
me and
Comatose
Blackout.
really doesn't have much of a chance then? You think that he's not going to walk away with that championship?
If someone like me who actually does shit can't beat Blackout, what hope does
He's the
Comatose?
king of the West, though. He's chasing a legacy. He
So,
wants to be the GOAT of BYW in history. That's what he said here. I'm just telling you, I know you're busy, but I'm just telling you what he said. I mean, I'm just telling you that he's chasing history. He's chasing a legacy that he's trying to make for himself. He talked about his 4-year layoff, and he feels that his journey will be completed once he wins the BTW championship from RTG Baby's Monster Blackout. I mean, certainly you saw Blackout here a few weeks ago on Sportswire. He walked off. I mean, he was very upset with the way things were going. And maybe Blackout will take that out on Comatose. But as far as I know at the moment, Comatose is all dead set on winning that BTW championship. So I mean, it might be funny. Maybe the promo he cuts are funny, but he really is serious. I'm relaying what he
well,
said.
that's
Is
what's
that
funnier, Tom, is that the dude's serious and he lives in La La Land. He goes, do, 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 do. I'm king of the West Coast. Now, let me tell you something with all my stakes. Go be a butcher and be like me. Join the backyard kingdom because that's where it's at. Get the
you don't like the
fuck
king?
here.
You don't like the king of the West? You like the kingdom? You don't like when he says those things?
What crown of legitimacy?
He's the BYW interpromotional champion.
Wow, he pulled a me in 2020 and 2021 and handed himself a title and prances around like he's a badass. Good
He's
for
been
him.
defending it though. He's been defending the championship. I mean,
Yeah, it's all fun and games until he defends it against me and I kick his ass. But luckily for him, I have bigger fish
but
to
you've got
fry.
other things. Listen, you've got other priorities. So does he. I mean, I don't think right now at this moment that's something that really is just. There's really no reasons for you and him. And you guys are actually in a locker room together. We talked about you and Taylor a few minutes ago, but you and him aren't in the same locker room. You and Comatose are in the same locker room, but there's really no reason for you two to be involved in anything at the moment.
No, there's not. But he just couldn't help himself when I was announced that I was born to wrestle. He just couldn't help himself. He wanted to try and make a headline at my expense, and ever since then, there's been problems. and he don't want these problems.
Yeah.
He don't want these problems. He doesn't want this stiffness. He don't want the Blaze that shows up and buries people. He don't want that.
But what if he wins the BTW championship? Wouldn't you
Then
wanna?
he'll see me at the others on the other side, but he has nothing of value that I want.
But
He's
you
not on the
there's
radar.
no so you he is not somebody you're considering. You have no in BTW at the moment. There's no
Tom,
reason for you. Yeah,
Tom,
yes, sir.
if he was something of value, you would have seen me in Comatose by now.
I mean that's a good point. I mean, you and Comatose, we haven't seen that. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it. I mean, we've seen you in Swift, we've seen you in BES, we've seen you in Blackout, but we haven't seen you in Comatose. That's a great point. I mean, I would like to see it as a fan of both of you guys.
Yeah,
Would
it's always trailblazing time, but Comatose ain't worth mine. So
Well, we're going to get to YBW next, but before we do that, hit the sub button for BTW. Please do that. Please support them. Anthony Steele has his opinions. He's obviously not a fan, but look, what can you do? Obviously, everyone's going to have their opinions, and he's obviously got his, although he's got the Soldier GP and Justin Parsley photo, but he may not have Justin Parsley's photo
yeah,
for
say that
long.
without burning bridges in any other locker room you work for.
Well, I mean, right now he's in IMF. He's been very successful there, but I mean,
Yeah,
I'll
and
leave
there's a
that at
reason
that.
you only see him in IMF, Tom, and I'm just gonna leave it at
Well,
that.
I mean, he's going to. I mean, he's supposed to be going another place, but he'll talk about it in a few weeks. RTG though wants to correct me in saying Comatose is the queen of the West Coast. I don't know if he's. I don't know if
You
that's
even giving him
necessarily.
a crown is wild, but
Well,
whatever.
I mean, look, I mean, he seems to be doing very well. I mean, he seems to be. He won the Rumble, and
From the
he's
last,
good at he's going to certainly compete at it. And, look, we'll obviously see. Obviously, Anthony Steele is not much a fan of yours, but I'm going to leave that at that because
thanks for
everybody,
tuning in, buddy.
well, you know
I
what? I
appreciate
mean,
it.
obviously, yes, we're going to certainly move on, but let's pull up the YBW website first before we do that here because we got a lot to talk about here over the remaining minutes of YBW, and I want to get to that here. So let me pull this up on the screen. We'll give the link out for those who would like to. Plus, I still have something for you. I'm going to give you at the end of the show. Yeah, I got something for. I got to give it to you. I got to give it to you. But here it is. First of all, let's put the link up. If you want to follow YBW, hit the sub button for them on YouTube. Also, check out their newsletter. And we're going to do that here first right now. And let's talk about what's up here on the website. So, obviously, we've got a pre-recorded show coming up. We have a new championship that will be revealed coming up in a matter of weeks. Merchandise is under construction. Patreon page coming out with more new content.
Yeah.
We've got some other shows here coming up. Let's talk about them. Scrapyard is actually in a matter of days. We could
Mm-hmm.
potentially have a new group here in YBW. And we've got the most recent episode 6 here. Heroes and Villains is out there. So let's talk about what we can expect. Blood, Sweat, and Tears is next weekend. It's going to be you and Magnum Carter in the main event against Reality. Kid Phoenix and Volador is going to be up in a
Yeah.
champion versus champion match. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it. If you can scroll up really, really quick.
Sure,
To
I
the,
can do that. My mouse is a little slow, so
it's
give me a
okay.
moment.
And
Here we
I
go.
don't know why like the desktop version looks so weird. The
It's better
slideshow.
than my
The
website, so
slideshow.
don't feel too bad. Go ahead.
The slideshow. If you
Oh,
could please. Yeah,
yeah, I
it's okay.
can.
I could have
You know
specified.
what? Yes, I
There we
can.
go.
Okay, yep. So we're going to talk
So
about
yeah,
here.
pass
So,
that ugly guy. Pass that ugly
well,
guy.
he was here in the chat. I mean, we appreciate him
Next
coming
one.
in.
Next one. Next one. All right, so let's talk about this.
Let's talk about it.
So the main event is going
Here
to
we go.
be the Golden Guns versus
Dom
Real.
and Oliver against you and Magnum. I mean, here we go. Tornado tag team match. And I mean, what's going through your mind here? You and Magnum have obviously been together now for a while, and you guys have obviously you've been dealing with Dom. I mean, you've had some memorable moments here with Dom on Sportswire of late. I mean, so what can we expect here coming up next week?
Hopefully, you can finally expect the end of Razor's reality, as he likes to say, because I'm going to be real with you, Tom, and everyone watching, including Anthony Steele. He, Dom with that world title disgusts me. It really, really does. How he's been taking shortcut after shortcut. And notice that
What is?
it's mainly been with me because he knows If it's just me and him alone, one on one, I can beat him like the bitch he is, and that's a fact. I haven't held that title
In
since
a long time.
June. Yeah, a long time. June 27th of 2021. So take
Yep.
that to people that say I
Going close
oh,
to 4 years. Yep. 4 years next
yeah,
month.
close to 4 years. And Bloodthirsty 2 was my last shot. It was my last chance. And I can't let it sit down that on my seventh attempt since losing that championship that I can't get back to number 8. But then I formed an alliance of sorts, which formed into a tag team with Magnum Carter, and it hit me, excuse me, during a phone call that we had. How are we going to stop these guys from taking over? How are we going to derail their momentum? How can we give back to the fans, the people that have been wanting these guys to get the shit kicked out of them for a long, long time? How do we do it? Well, a wise man once said, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. And then when we had a conversation, it hit me like a bolt of lightning that, well, we keep doing this one on one and it's not working. So now we need to take a different approach. We need to team up. Let's show the world what the Golden Guns can do. Let's cut the head off the snake, per se. Let's end reality. Let's eradicate them and their bullshit way of how they do things, because I'm tired of it. Carter's tired of it. People in the back are tired of it. Our fans are tired of it. And it's not me taking the world title from them yet, but is a step. And if you haven't been paying attention, Tom, from January to February, March, April, I've been getting my ass kicked at every show. We have 8 months left of the year, Tom. I've got to do something. So that's why we're doing a tag match, and it will be tornado style rules, one fall to a finish. And I'm going to do everything I can to get my hands on both
And listen,
Oliver
you would
and
deal. Listen, this has been you and Dom. This predates this year. This goes back now. We're talking what 8 months? You and Dom now, about 8 months. You never going back and forth at it. 8 months. It's got to come to a head eventually. I mean, you were so close to winning that title at the end of last year, and you just can't seem to win it. You just can't seem to get back that YBW championship. And Dom continues to have a firm grip on it, despite whatever the way he's done it. It's don't doubt Dominic. He continues to be don't doubt Dominic.
yeah, it's just I would respect it more because I didn't have a problem with Dominic until you saw what happened on the first episode of Network. That is
Yep.
sadly abolished. Um, Different conversation for another time. But ever since I made a call that was better for the community and better for my show, he's had a problem with me. And ever since then, he's been creating more problems within the show. And
Well,
it's
he
been
felt here
constant.
that he should be getting more recognition than you. He felt that he's the one that should be traveling. He felt that he was the trailblazer. He felt that he was the headline. He said that famously here. He was of the mind that he's built YBW. He's of the mind that he really should be where you've been going. I mean, maybe he thinks he should be in DBW. Maybe he thinks he should be in BTW. Maybe he and James Taylor would get along in ROEW. Maybe that's why he wants to be in your shoes. I mean, that's what he has said here, and he's been very vocal about that.
If that's the case, then I'm Tyler Perry. But this whole thing that Dominic thinks he has this hold in this spot, it no, it's what you put in to this community and the things you get out of it are just astronomical. But Dominic hasn't really put anything, any effort into. I'll say this: he put enough effort into getting that world championship twice. But keeping it in this seventh reign, I'm sorry, his second reign, it's been, I need help. I need help. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. If you believe in yourself, you don't need to do that.
Or maybe he's just like any good champion and finding it by any means necessary to keep that championship. Maybe that's what he's thinking. I'm not saying I agree,
I
but
know you're not.
maybe, but that's what
It's
he's
just
thinking.
sad. It's
And
just sad.
he wants to keep that championship for as long as possible. I mean, certainly he hasn't had the run that Mr. Judgment had, let's say, in one company you work for, even the man that you wrestled in Blackout. But Dom is being successful like both men have. It may not be the same way, but he's doing whatever he can to keep that champion.
He's doing a subpar job at being I guess, the face of the company, but he's doing the greatest job ever of keeping that world championship warm for me, because it's only a matter of time until it finally comes back to where it belongs. And blood, sweat, and tears. No one has put in more blood. Nobody has. I don't want to say sweat because that's kind of disgusting, but no one has cried more. No one's put in more tears over this brand, over this business, over this company than I have. And that will come to light at blood, sweat, and tears. It finally starts with Chase Wakefield, with BTW, with
You
YBW.
got
I'm
some big
finally going to get back.
matches here coming up. Think
Yep.
about this. You've got Wakefield, which is going to be any day. You've got BES definitely on the 27th. You've got the tag match on the 25th. I mean, most people take off Memorial Day weekend. You're working, seems more than ever.
Yeah, I take it that I am the one that's working the most out of anybody this year. I dare anyone to say different. And Tom, I always say this because it's the absolute truth. It's all just a warm up to whatever the end goal and the end game is, whatever that looks like or however it feels. It's all just preparation for the biggest moment to happen. Because by the end of the year, and I really believe this, I will be YBW World Heavyweight Champion again. I will be a champion in DBW because I believe in myself more than I ever have. I will have told the greatest stories and put on some of the best matches and maybe take some championship gold in BTW as well. I
Mm.
will appear in at least one more company if my schedule works out. My
Well, we
point is,
talked about
Tom.
one company, ROW. We talked about that. We talked about
Yeah,
what that future would be there if that was a company that you're still affiliated with. I mean, that was a
it
topic
is.
that we talked about. That's a company that people are really would, especially now with the way things are going. And I think that there is, with some, a curiosity factor. Aaron Blaze there, natural selection, what happens, and James Taylor. I mean, that's a situation that I think a lot of people are really curious about. That I think would draw a lot of views. I think there's no question DBW the last several months. They ended the season, they started the season. This is the best. I know the viewership is different years. I don't know what the exact numbers were in other years, but DBW's product right now, you talked about the ring, you talked about the roster, you talked about DBW is not even hitting their peak yet. BTW, I mean, DBW's in a ring, and look at what they've been doing. Look at the views, look at the likes, and YBW's heating up. You and the Golden Guns, and you and Dom, and just think you in ROEW with you potentially and James Taylor in the same particular place, and a natural selection, the Underground OG, Darkron, Jacob Collins, and CJ. I mean, there's so many exciting things. But before we shift and give you something else, I have a couple plugs. YBW, you have to go hit the sub button for
I need to
YBW.
change that channel art. It looks fucking terrible.
Well, we still got to go out. That's the show coming up tomorrow. Hit the sub for that. Like and share. Also, YBW's YouTube channel. Please go out there and support that.
Thank you.
Also, want to plug YBW's Instagram page before we go here into a few other things. This is YBW's Instagram page. You can check that out, and you can also hit the follow button for YBW. Got a lot of people here still in the chat. Definitely, please go out and support YBW, and thank you for still, for whatever reason, keeping my headshot in there. We appreciate that very much. Somebody likes that. But then again, I was in the same chair with Gary Wolf, and Gary, he watches my shows. He actually talks to me about
Oh,
who's coming on Sportswire. So you never know, Gary. You ain't gonna see him in
that's,
the chat, but you're gonna see Magnum Carter, who says, "I beat Dom at King of the Yard. What's there to recognize? What's
yeah,
there to recognize?"
you did, and one day Magnum Carter will be a world champion in YBW. He's certainly earned it on and off camera.
Inspirational story. He's talked about it
Yes.
here with his daughter, fighting for her. He's doing it he said specifically, he's doing it for the right reasons. He doesn't want to do it like Dom. And he's been vocal about that. And
Yep.
he is definitely a guy. It means a lot to him to be here in YBW. It means a lot to have him here in this company with you. I know, and I do want to say hello. Soldier GP is saying hello. He would like to say, he obviously for a change, actually probably agrees with you on some of the things you said tonight about James Taylor. Hell is frozen over. Omen Black is congratulating you. Soldier GP is saying hello. And, and also another man that I still don't understand why you said the things you said about him earlier on Mr. Judgment Show, Silas Walker, who said he's kind of still praising you. I've seen this kid do a good job so far. I'm excited that he's on my roster.
Oh, so
See if you can beat the chump of chumps, though, against Wakefield. Don't choke. I mean, he's giving you some encouragement. I mean, he's your employer, technically. Silas Walker, my friend Silas Walker, the DBW general manager and global champion.
until I see actual documentation, I will not believe that that guy's my boss. He's not the person that signed me to a very, very exclusive deal. So I call BS. But yeah, have fun with losing to Austin James. And I said it before, I'll say it again. I'll be one of the first people to congratulate that man because he deserves
But
it.
do you think so? You still think Austin James deserves that rematch?
Absolutely. Hashtag justice for Austin
But
James.
Silas Walker is the man that can make those decisions. Why should he give Austin James a rematch?
Well, he didn't make the decision. Mr. Judgment did. The
Right.
real, the true final boss. But if Silas has, let me word it this way. If Silas truly believes he's so legendary and he's a master at playing this game, then play another round with Austin James. Put him down, keep him down permanently, beat him, actually have a clear, decisive finish if that's what you really, really believe.
Well,
And then I won't say anything else. But until you beat Austin James clean, sorry, can't get behind
we're
face to
gonna
face.
find out. I'll tell you what, we're gonna find out. It's been almost a year since he's held the global championship. It's been almost a year. And it's been an amazing, it's the longest run of any DBW champion. Listen, a lot to talk about. Yes, Soldier's saying hello. Yep, he's saying hello, and he claps to Zilla. So we have a lot there to talk about. And, I do want to put this up on the screen before we get ready to ask you a few things. And I do want to do it now because my screen is going to now allow me that because I
Oh,
pressed the wrong button.
technology.
Yeah, technology is an interesting thing. But we're going to put it up here because for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio, on all platforms, even though you've gotten something like this before, it is Aaron Blaze Day today here on
Oh,
May the 16th. Yep, May 16th. I got the John Hancock right. I got my signature, the date, all of that jazz. It is Aaron Blaze Day on all Sportswire Radio platforms. I can't walk away at this point and not give you something. I got to give you something. We don't. In fact, it was Torrance Banks who said, I think it was Wednesday's show. He said, there's interviewers and then there's being here. And then, Omen, it's his platform. He and I were talking about this often. He even said, yeah, there's other shows in this one. But Judgment does a great job, by the way. Judgment definitely check out the Judgment Confessionals. And I enjoyed the back and forth there.
it's so fun. It's
Yeah,
so fun.
definitely the DBW stuff. He can do things that I can't do on Sportswire. So definitely check that out. Yes, we love our friends in DBW. And Daniel Tafua, the chosen one, my good friend from our friends at LAW in Parkersburg, West Virginia. He'll be a part of some shows coming up before that. And Aaron Blaze Day. Check that out. We'll give you the physical
Thank you
copy.
so much. I appreciate it. I got a
I'll give you
month.
the
I got a
physical.
day. Hall of
Yeah.
Fame.
I give I take care of my people. But
Yes.
okay, so let's go to a couple things here. So first, you have any final words for Chase Wakefield before your match, whenever the time comes, for the penitentiary qualifier match for the World Extreme Championship?
I'm ready to make history.
Yeah.
No matter what league it's in. And if I got to go through a guy that invited me to open his wedding, then so be it. I won't be that nice guy over text. I won't be that humble guy. No, I'm going to be the headline, the guy that gets a reaction out of anybody and gets you to click on videos like this. I'm going to get you guys to click on Fallout, and you are going to witness the fallout leading in to TDX, where I take my spot on top of the DBW World Extreme Division. So, Chase, good luck to you. And I hope you show up unkillable.
Ooh. Well, I'll tell you what, you did mention his wedding, and certainly Silas has been very vocal about Mr. Wakefield and letting down the Dawn's March. And he's also been vocal about Mr. Wakefield and basically calling him the chump of chumps. And a lot of stuff there. And also Austin James calling himself the Prince of DBW. But I don't know if that's going to be the case if Silas gets past him. So a lot of DBW coverage that we'll certainly get through. And Texas here, or now Colton Lee is here. I'm about to say Tex, he'll kill me. Colton Lee is here Sunday night, 9:00. Well, yeah, he ain't no Tex. He might be as big as the state of Texas, but he's a heartless sheriff, and he'll be here 9:00 on Sunday. So we'll talk about more of that for sure when you come back next. But I have to ask you, so final words for BES, and also what would it mean to you to be the BCF world champion?
It's all just a stepping stone to my ultimate goal, and that is being the best. And this sounds a little cocky and arrogant, but I don't care. The best storyteller, the best traveler, and this might take a bit longer than both those goals, but the best wrestler. I really do believe that I've put in a lot more miles than most. I really do believe that I've put in a lot more stories and thought and sacrifice, stepping out of the comfort zone per se to make this community more comfortable about certain people working with one another. I really feel like I kind of started that in a way, even though I'm not a fossil like some people. But my goals and what I want to do is I want to fill that little list with me, like holding that H and all those company logos, some better than most, some suck. I want to fill those three spots. And I also want championship gold under it. I want championship gold behind it. I want a lot of memories behind each and every single one, good, bad, or indifferent, because it just
Yeah.
makes you stronger, it makes you better. So I hope that BES shows up better and brings his best, but he already brought his best and had one of the worst losses of his entire life this season. And I look forward to having him relive that moment.
Well, 3 spots left, and there's some companies that are here that could represent those names: IMF, CSW, BCW, which you kind of referenced. And the man you're wrestling, Chase Wakefield's going to BCW. He basically let the cat out of the bag, and that's a company that is here or was here in the chat, and those are companies that could be. There's a lot of other places that could be potential spots for you. I think that's obviously something we'll have to stay tuned for. And also, Magnum Carter wants to say Aaron Blaze might be a lot younger than me, but he has a lot more experience than me. I believe he can be the greatest if he hasn't claimed that title already with his past in the backyard. Well, I mean, listen, you definitely scoffed at the fact about Comatose is saying that. And you definitely, so I'm not going there and asking you about Comatose. Jack Delta, we don't know still his future about returning in the ring. He did post recently on social media, but again, that's a question that I'm going to leave to when Mr. Delta.
I appreciate that.
That's a great. Yep, agree. Congratulations. Yep, thank you from Abram. Is it me or I had it here and I just lost it? We're going to come back to it. Yep, I can't. There we go. Okay. Is it me? I can't. Now I can do it. Is it me or am I on fire? Nope. It's Aaron Blaze Day, so it's just hot out. Well, it's supposed to be hot in New York tomorrow. It's supposed to be 86.
Dude, it's hot over here in PA. Holy crap.
It's supposed to be hot. But then again, it was like 50 degrees the other day. So
Right.
obviously that's the case. But yeah, great stuff. And check out Aaron Blaze's Instagram page. And James Taylor does want to say hello. So who knows? Maybe this is a peace brokering. Maybe you and him together, an ROEW. Again, we talked a lot about that. Could be a future potentially. And, 2 men that I would love to see out there on my screen one day. And 2 men that represent companies that I love. And Soldier GP does want to say Jack Delta ain't never coming back. You're welcome. Well, who knows? Really?
I doubt that. I will say this, though. If Delta comes back, for real,
Yeah.
I call first dibs.
Well, I mean, I would have to say you do have unfinished business with him. There's a lot of people that would like to have unfinished business with him. I mean, I think that when that time comes, should he return, and even James Taylor said, never say never about you and him. So I guess maybe we're turning a new leaf. That's great. And Abram Storm wants to see Jack Delta. Yes, a lot of people want to see Jack Delta out there. Yes, absolutely. But I have to ask you before closing thoughts,
Yes.
your final words here coming up before Heroes and Villains. Final words here coming up for your big tag match and anything else you want to say. Yeah, yeah,
I love you with blood, sweat, and tears.
yeah. I know I said the wrong one. I
No,
have it
it's
here in
okay. It's
front of
okay.
me. I blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's okay.
blood,
It's okay.
sweat, and tears. Yeah, I know. I had a mulligan.
I was
Blood.
like, are we going back in time?
Your final words coming up here for next weekend. Blood, sweat, and tears. That's
I'm ready to go to war, and I have arguably someone who I haven't known for that long, who originally wasn't even going to sign to my company, but it's just funny how things work out. He has slowly become one of my closest and best friends. And if you guys don't know who Magnum Carter is by now, I'd give it a year, and this guy is going to be one of the top topics on Sportswire in this entire community. And I want that for him. I want that
I
for at least
definitely
my
want to have
company.
him back. I want to get everybody back, but it's hard. We only have
I
so many times in
understand.
a day. It's very hard. There's people that like I haven't been back, and there's people that are like I need to be back. It's tough. You try to, give
Yeah, and
everybody
there's
a
people
shot.
that are here every day talking shit because they don't have a life. Sorry. But my point is, in regards to blood, sweat, and tears, I am ready to bleed and put Dominic in tears, and I will be sweating my ass off, but in victory. Because I need to start winning again. It's been, Tom, the last time I won a championship in my own company was February of last year. We are
Almost 16
way,
months. Yeah, almost 16 months.
we are way, way past. I want to get back to part of the old me, the one that dominated the scene, the one that could do it with wins behind him. Because my win loss record, it's Tom, it's not looking very good no matter what company you look at
Well,
for
I
this
mean,
and a
that's
half
why
year.
you and Chase Wakefield and another place is an important match. And you have a show here, Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Now I definitely got it right because I remember that to the day I die next week. You're going to have a match that you need to win and to get you to where you need to be eventually in YBW.
Eventually. And good things come to those who wait. And I think after waiting for four-ish years, I've waited long enough. But I'm not just gonna hand myself an opportunity again because things didn't work out and we have to shift the whole script per se. I'm gonna earn it this time. And I'm gunning for Dominic specifically in this match. And I am going to make sure that he remembers exactly who the fuck I am. He calls me old. Well, he's gonna get the old Aaron Blaze. Sorry. He's
Yeah.
going to get the old Aaron Blaze, just like he did at Revelations, where I could have beaten him, just like he did at Rampage, where I could have beaten him, just like he did at Bloodthirsty, with light tubes and me flipping and almost breaking my neck on the off the trampoline and all that. I'm willing to put my body through anything to put that championship back around my waist and back in my hands because it is mine. It is what made me. And that's why I stick with YBW because I respect where I came from. I'm never going to forget it. And I need the championship that started the journey for me because I don't think I can carry on without it.
Well, I'll tell you what, Aaron Blaze has definitely said a lot tonight. There has been a lot of headlines, and Aaron Blaze is going to be in plenty of places, but it's home where it may matter most to him. And that's going to certainly have a big match coming up next Sunday. Blood, Sweat, and Tears. You can check it out on the YBW YouTube page. They have an Instagram, they have a website, a newsletter's on there. There's a Patreon page, a lot of places you can find out YBW information. Please join me in supporting YBW. Please join me in supporting Aaron Blaze, whether it's in DBW, BTW, YBW, or even other places down the road, potentially like ROEW. And who knows where else he'll be. And he'll have big matches coming up. Chase Wakefield, he'll have a match there to qualify for the penitentiary match for the World Extreme Championship. He'll be against BES West Coast Revival next Tuesday for the BCF Championship, and Blood, Sweat, and Tears. He'll be teaming alongside Magnum Carter, who, yes, I'm going to definitely message him when we're off the air to come back onto Sportswire. And Carter, he's a hairy cheese stick. Okay. I wouldn't say cheese stick. I wouldn't pay for him. I'd say he's a play toy with his batteries taken. I think we're talking about Dom. Okay. Dom's a donkey with two feet of a rooster in his mouth. Okay. Well, that's certainly reasons why I haven't ate yet. Dom is not well liked. Casey says Puff, maybe because she and Abram Storm are exchanging phone numbers. Maybe unless it's Anthony Steele here really commenting. Who knows? But I'd love to be. Yeah, I'll definitely message you. Darkron is here. I'm sure plenty of
Okay.
his mind, IMF and ROEW, and we'll get that here. And James wanted to say hello to Zilla. Yes, we love Zilla. And sup, James. And yep, he wants everybody to get in the line to face the man who he put him down. He did put Jason Storm down. He did put him down. But although Soldier was down and Justin Parsley was down, and we'll talk about that in a few days when it comes to the IMF situation. And never say never, boo.
The
And
hall monitor. No, I'm just kidding.
hope everyone has a good night. And yeah, Casey and Abram Storm. Yeah, that's who I was saying about them, those two together. But it's Abram Storm's prom. But I guess I don't think that's going to be a good idea. But
Don't get
yeah,
yourself into trouble. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
well, you know what? They
Not that I
made.
feel like Storm would, but just
Well,
be
who
be
knows?
careful of people.
Who knows there? But I guess James Taylor did say never say never. But I'm gonna pass the baton to you. Let me give you some closing thoughts. Anything else you want to plug, share, or say? Take it away.
Every single year. So I would say from 2021 to last year, every single year, no matter how much I've accomplished, I have ended the year in mediocrity. And I hate it. I hate that some people think it defines me, or people just go off of drama I had with others. And instead of talking to me like a man, they just go off of whatever they hear because it's high school shit. Um, but the thing is, at the end of the day, clearly I'm doing something right for all the wrong things you hear, because I wouldn't be working with the people I'm working with now. I wouldn't be getting the opportunities I have now. So it kind of just sounds like certain people are jealous and they don't know how to handle it. But that's how I feel personally. This year, I'm not ending it in mediocrity. This year, you're going to remember the stories I have told, because that matters in backyard and underground wrestling and wrestling in general. And this year, and I don't care if it's egotistical, whether it's DBW, BTW, YBW, maybe multiple titles or just one, I am ending 2025 as a champion for the body of work I've put in, for being burnt out for years, pun not intended, and still forcing myself to wake up at 4, 3 o'clock in the morning for buses, flights,
Yeah.
all that. I deserve that. And I am done kicking myself down. I am propping myself back up. I am building myself better as a person and performer. And those who support me, thank you so much. And those that don't like me, still, thank you so much, because I'm going to be remembered. And you will remember 2025 as the year of the headline Aaron Blaze.
Well,
And
it's
the
been an
road.
interesting year so far. I'll tell you that much. It has been a very interesting year for Aaron Blaze, and there is never a dull moment. There's no question about that. He started the year very strong. You've seen him in places like BTW, DBW, once in a lifetime match against Aaron Jones, the Battle of Aaron's. Aaron won, spoiler alert. He's got Chase Wakefield coming. He's going to be wrestling D'Angelo, the Flame, later this summer in the Chase Wakefield Wedding Invitation. Oh, by the way, Rad Dad is here next Monday to talk about that. You're going to see a lot more of him in YBW. Maybe there's still a future in ROEW. Seems like that's always a possibility out there. There's other places that we spoke about that could also be possibilities. And oh, by the way, he's got a BCF championship match next Tuesday, West Coast Revival with BES. And look at what those guys did the last time we're in the ring. Now we'll see what they're going to do again next Tuesday. And plenty Aaron Blaze is about. There is no question that Aaron Blaze has got a lot going on. It's never a dull moment with him, and he has certainly trailblazed his own journey. Whether you like it or not, it's definitely an interesting one. And before we move on, I'm a fellow backyard wrestler who's absolutely ruthless in the ring, but don't let my size fool you. Who says big boys can't do big moves? Yeah, you know what? Daniel Tafua is from LAW and Wrestling Express Wrestling, and look what he does in the ring. And you just size definitely doesn't matter. If you can move out there, and there's no question that we can certainly see more of the likes of Abram Storm. But most importantly, Aaron Blaze was here. And one more time, it is Aaron Blaze Day. We will make sure you get the physical copy here. Like I said, check him out in a lot of places. Tuesday coming up, BTW, YBW next Sunday, Blood, Sweat, and Tears. DBW, stay tuned to their pages for more details. He was just on Mr. Judgment's Confessionals, which took place this last Wednesday. And like I said, follow him on Instagram, check him out on YouTube, everywhere else. My friend, welcome back. Can't wait to see you here again. Excited to talk about what's to come here in a number of these great companies that you represent, and can't wait to see what you'll do next. And the best is most certainly yet to come. Yes, I actually own that same shirt. I just thought about wearing yours today.
I
But
appreciate
yeah,
that.
and as I once said, big men can move around like the little guys. Yeah, you know what? I mean, certainly guys like Magnum Carter, guys like Abram Storm can certainly hold their own alongside Soldier GP. But thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Congratulations, my friend. We'll see you on DBW, BTW, YBW, and Elsewhere's TV. And looking forward to seeing you soon.
Yes, sir, and thank you for having me, Tom. I'm gonna try and get that thing shipped out as soon as I can that we
That,
discussed.
don't worry about that. I actually have 2 packages from somebody else that I didn't even open yet, and I
Oh,
didn't think to open up one yet. Yeah, we have a Nathaniel Rage cert, and I have one of my shows on an internet radio station. I haven't opened the package yet, but we'll do it on air maybe tomorrow. And Casey says she once dated a wrestler who I think was here in the chat we referenced. But yeah, I guess maybe those two won't be exchanging phone numbers. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. Who knows? I mean, Valentine's Day could be early for these two. But in the meantime, thank you so much, everybody. I hope you all have a great night. And tomorrow I'll be here 9 o'clock with Yoshi Matsuda. And Sunday will be the Heartless Sheriff Colton Lee. Monday, 9:30, Timothy Titan, the council member of Legit Alternative Wrestling. So busy shows ahead. Hit the sub button for us. And until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on the number one global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, where all music and wrestling matters. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow.